For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Of course, as ever, lots of questions for Carl as well, just to sort of try and tap into his brain, see what's going on there. Question from Jade. Carl, what would you change if you were in charge of what kids are taught in school? Right, you know, because, I mean, your school experience was a bit iffy. You got very bored, didn't you? You got very disillusioned by school.
Yeah. What I'd do, right, is instead of sort of teaching kids about 2 and 2 and that, she's 4, right?
Well done.
Show off. I think they should be asked more questions that make them think rather than something that has just got an answer.
I totally agree.
Right? So,
to teaching them the quest for knowledge, inflaming their imagination.
But just freaking them out a bit as well. Just going like...
See, I knew that's where it was going. Because as soon as you started talking, Rick, I was thinking you're thinking some of the big existential or philosophical questions. You know, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to interact with other humans? To be a human.
Or teaching them sort of like philosophy on a basic level, that, you know, teaching them the love for learning. So, you know, get them back to a roots level so they want to learn and then they will learn, as opposed to just teaching them facts.
Whereas...
He was thinking, freak them out a bit.
Yeah.
No, just like, you know, like I read the other day, and someone sent it in on email, like how there's a dishwasher that's been found on Mars.
Rubbish.
Whoa, what?
Right? It's not true.
So tell them that.
But it's not true.
Go home and write about it. How did that happen?
But it didn't happen.
Well, it did happen. It was in a science magazine.
No, it didn't happen. There's not a dishwasher on Mars.
Why not?
Because...
What do you mean, why not?
How did it get there?
But we're always sending, like, rubbish out there and that. It's like...
Not dishwashers. What, you think the council take it away and they go, where can we put it? Well, the tip's full. Well, where's the nearest thing we can dump this? Mars, I imagine.
No, but the same way that fella who, I don't know, was it 2 Christmases ago, when he was messing about saying I can get stuff to Mars and all that, he did it wrong because he did it on, like, Boxing Day, and I just think nobody's concentrating. No one wants to work on that day. It's kind of like, do you know what I mean? They're going to do stuff sort of half-arsed, aren't they, on Boxing Day? So... it didn't really get there, I don't think, but it crash-landed.
What are you talking about? What was he trying to do?
He was sending something up to Mars.
Yeah, that little fella that wanted to get something on Mars, and it got...
globe, you mean?
And it didn't open properly.
Yeah.
It got there, didn't it?
But the thing is, it got there, it didn't open properly. No one's been back to pick it up. And what I'm saying is, we're saying about going to Mars as our next planet. It's a tip. There's loads of stuff that's been flirted up there.
No, it's not.
It's just all, like, that probe thing is still there, rotting away.
Yeah. So... ipso facto, there is a dishwasher on Mars. We've settled that. Why would they have a dishwasher on Mars? Would they take the dishwasher up in the space shuttle in case they had dinner parties? What are you talking about?
I just think they would have a little dishwasher in there. There's a lot of them, tight space. You don't want to, but who's going to do that? You know, that means...
Do you know how much fuel it takes to move a kilogram out of the Earth's atmosphere? So they're going to take up a dishwasher, are they?
Sorry, but what are they cooking up there, Carl?
How many people does it take to fly a rocket?
How
many people? Tell me how many people.
Well, it's either one monkey with a banana shoot that feeds it, or probably 2 or 3 humans.
Right, say it's 3 humans.
Yeah.
Now, there's 3 humans because they need one to steer it.
One to stop at the petrol station to get more...
What I'm saying is, if you're going to start having a sink, then whoever's
they
washing
haven't got
up...
a sink.
I know, because they've got a dishwasher.
He's got you there.
But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But all I'm saying is teach kids things about... Say to them, right, when you go home tonight, there was dinosaurs knocking about ages ago. How would you have lived with them? Get on with it. See you later.
Well, they didn't. I've told you this before. You got a lot of your information from the Flintstones and 1 million years BC with Raquel Welch. There weren't dinosaurs knocking around where there were little fellas knocking around in furry pants.
No, but just sort of saying to them, all right, then, here's a different question.
Go on then.
Would it be better to have dinosaurs knocking about now whilst we're here? Because I put that in my diary the other day, that when you think about it, there's a population problem.
Yeah.
There's too many of us.
Yeah.
We're saving people all the time. No one's allowed to get injured anymore. You've got to, wear a helmet when you're on a bike. There's speed bumps to slow people down. Zebra crossing. Cures for illnesses. No one's dying anymore, right?
Well, I think they are.
Not as many as they should be, because the world's crowded. All I'm saying is...
there's still people dying. I think there's still people dying.
Not that many, though.
Yeah, I think there's still millions of people dying.
Apparently, a handful.
Loads of people are living longer. And that's a problem.
So you feel that you should introduce Tyrannosaurus Rex into, say, London, just have them wandering around, just picking people off.
That's what... Just sort of random and that. Because I don't know... I mean, I'm not wishing that anyone I know dies and that. But all I'm saying is, I don't know anyone who's died for ages.
Right.
Whereas if a dinosaur was knocking about, you'd go, Neil's gone missing.
Yeah.
And
And
you thought,
Nora's had her head bitten off by a...
Whatever. I just think then it is survival of the fittest, which is, we've lost all that now. You don't even have to be fit to survive. They just keep sticking a new lung on you. Or... Do you know what I mean? They can do too much now to keep people going.
They just keep sticking a new lung on you.
Question from Kevin. He says, Carl, other than the famous boxing match that you've often talked about, I know that took up about 20 minutes of your time, have you ever been in any other kind of fight? I don't suppose a slanging match. I think they're talking, have you ever been in a physical fight?
Once that I can remember. It was over a woman. Well, a girl. I was at school.
Yeah.
And it was because, like, it's hassle, innit? Right, relationships when you're younger.
How old were you?
About 7.
It was over a woman.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
And there was this girl knocking about who, you know, she was quite good looking, everybody liked. And my mate, he really liked her. And I didn't sort of ask her out on that, but she just sort of took a shine to me and stuff, right? And didn't really go out with her properly. It's at that age where going out with someone is just like sort of going, all right, in the morning, do you know what I mean? You just sort of nod your head.
Yeah.
And that. Anyway, there was some sort of school disco, and they were playing Spin the Bottle or something, right? And I sort of wandered over to see what was going on, and I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it. And she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be doing with this, right? You know, what's up with you? It's old, what's up with you? And everyone's going, Carl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be all right, we'll sort the dress out. I said, oh, I can't be dealing with this. Right? So she's crying her eyes out. I said, it's over, right?
Oh, it's over, you saying, all right, in the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right? And this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, you know. I'm saying, what are you on about?
Sorry, there's 2 7-year-olds. Yeah, you're out of order. Keep out.
Yeah. Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink and he just said, leave it.
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah.
2 7-year-olds. Yeah. Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like, because, you know, he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there. Yeah. I accidentally, you know, sort of chipped his tooth on a sink.
Wow, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and 2 Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? 2 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that happened. What were you wearing, football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know, it was like that sort of material.
You were wearing winkle pickers.
Like crepe, you know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that got a hole in it.
So you're having and when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks and
a little
head
bit of
locks?
wrestling and shoving about and that. And it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down and his tooth hit the sink.
Right.
And it chipped and what have you. After that, like, I sort of left there and stuff, and we had to go into assembly. And there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, listen, kids, you know, don't get into trouble because we're out there and we'll get you. Right? So sort of try to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh, God, there's a copper here talking, and like my mate's going to come in a minute, like with a chipped tooth and everything. And
Questions are going to get asked.
That's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said, you'll never take me alive, copper.
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
Some of the questions coming in now, Rick, are just, I don't know what they're intending, what response they're hoping for, really. This is one from Rob. He just says, I was just wondering, what are Carl's views on the human appendix?
What do you think, Carl? What do you think of the human appendix?
Never worried about it.
Well, no, I think Rob's point is that it's sort of pretty redundant now.
So this is kind of what we've talked about before, where...
He always says that. He always says something like, oh, we've talked about this before. And the thing that he's talked about is nothing like it.
What I mean is, we've obviously interfered somewhere along the way. And
we have interfered, yeah.
We shouldn't have done, because it's the same way, like, if we didn't have planes and that, would we have wings now? If we'd have needed to get about,
No.
Would we have had wings?
No, the answer's no. Next.
No, but you say that, but look at the way...
Because he's right, he says it because he's right.
No, but all I'm saying is you see that little picture of like an ape to man.
Yeah.
At first, they're crawling about on all fours because probably you're looking for food, so you want to be down there. So
Right.
if you're on both legs,
Yeah.
you're missing stuff that's on the floor.
What sort of time period do you think this... Because, I mean, we started, dabbling with a plane maybe 100 years ago. So what sort of time period do you think this little thing who's scrabbling around looking for food stood up and
I don't
walked?
know. I sort of don't worry about time. Sort of
Well, I'll
behind-
tell you now, we
behind
wouldn't have
Rome.
wings now. If the Wright brothers had said, oh, forget it, we wouldn't have wings now.
What would happen? Right, here's another question. This is one that I'd chuck out to kids as well. We were talking about education, teaching kids stuff.
Sure.
What would happen, right? We ruin this world, right? Goes wrong and that, right? They shut it down. They go, we're moving. We go to another planet.
It's as simple as that in his world. It's as simple as that.
We can't go to Mars because it's full of stuff that used to be in Dixon's.
It's like a tip.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. So we can't go there. We go somewhere else.
Something that I've always wondered about, if we do that, do we start New Year's or do we carry on? What do you know what I mean? Do we say, oh, it's still 2006? Or do we go, it's world new, whatever, new world?
That is definitely the first priority.
It's year one. Right, we've sorted that out. Right, now...
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because a year might not be the same on this planet.
We'd sort that out, right? We'd sort out what year it is and that.
Well, no. What I'm saying is we'd have to start again anyway because the planet might not take 1 year as we know it to go around the sun. It might not take a day to turn. A day is a day because that's how long it takes.
Yeah, but we'd have to carry on as we know because we don't want to start doing longer days and that. Otherwise, they'll just kick off and say, "This is rubbish. This new world. What are you doing?"
No,
I'm doing a 28-hour day.
We wouldn't have a choice. A day is how long it takes the planet to turn, and a year is how long it takes that planet to go around the sun.
But a day is man-made, really. There's places in the world where they're working in the dark, isn't there, in Iceland and that? But they don't go, well, it's dark all the time, so I'll stay in bed.
Well, no, but there's still a day. It's still 24 hours in a day in Iceland.
Yeah, but we only work by that clock because that's what people use at the moment when they go, what time is it? You go, it's 20 past 11.
No. We use that because that's how long it takes the planet we're on to
I've
turn.
never worried about it like that. I've just always
Well,
gone,
no, I'm telling you,
Well, that's because you weren't asked to get involved when they came up with the idea.
I'm telling you, that's what a day is. It's how long it takes your planet to.
Yeah.
What do you mean? The way that what?
No, I'm just saying that's fine and everything. But if when I was born, people said there's 26 hours in a day, I'd go, fair enough. I'm not going to argue.
We could have made up how long an hour is. Yeah, we could have made hours shorter and get 26
Well, they're
in.
saying they're going to do that. Because,
no, they're not.
No, they are, because
No,
there's
they're
so
not.
many people in the world.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about before. They've got to create more jobs. The only way to have more jobs, keep shops open, take on more people. Everyone's happy.
That makes no sense at all.
Right. Say if there's 28 hours in a day.
Yeah, it'd still be 24 hours long as we used to know it.
No, you'd have like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's like 20 past 25 or whatever.
Well, you're not making any sense at all.
No, I'm just saying.
The Earth would still take 24 hours as we know it now.
Forget it.
Hang on a minute. I want. There's more interesting territory here.
Don't forget, our sleep patterns have evolved on a day. The reason we sort of like go to sleep at night and have about 8 to 10 hours sleep is because that's our evolution.
No, but that's just because that's what we've got used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at a sloth, that's asleep all the time. It's doing what it
but
wants.
it evolved differently, didn't it?
Right, you can't get away. You're not getting away with this anymore. If you want to live now, join in with us.
Well, it's that time again. It's the feature that the world is saying could rival Monkey News one day. Ready?
Oh, what's he written today?
Well, Carl's diary. You didn't actually explain what it was. Sunday, got up. Sunny day, so went for a walk in the park. There was a bloke walking down the street who was whistling some kind of annoying tune. He seemed quite happy with himself. Do people only whistle when they're happy? I don't whistle very much.
It's a good point. Whistling is so inane to me. But yeah, it's sort of like going, I'm content. It really is that thing that if they go, you go, well, Mr. Mellors, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Not only has your wife died, but you've lost the house. Thanks, doctor.
Wouldn't happen. Would it?
No, you don't whistle when
yeah.
you're sad. The other place you hear it, of course, is changing rooms. And that's men going, I'm whistling, so I'm not looking at your cock. How could I be? I'm concentrating on whistling.
The lake was frozen over where I was walking. The ducks looked worried. They were sat on the edge of the lake waiting for it to melt. Were they, Carl?
Yeah, we just sat there looking, sort of going, oh, what's going on? I don't know. How long is a duck's memory? Because I wondered whether they're going, this doesn't seem right, but I don't know why.
I asked Suzanne why ducks don't use their wings much. They seem to walk and swim more and don't bother using their wings. Suzanne said she had to call her mum and dad, so I never got an answer.
The old excuse. Yeah. Suzanne, I can't talk now, Carl.
Gotta phone my mum. There was a marathon-type run going on in the park. It reminded me of the time when we were moving flat. It was the day of the London Marathon. Me and Suzanne were walking down the middle of the road, taking some stuff to our new flat. I was carrying a lamp and a kitchen bin. People were clapping me, thinking I was doing some kind of fun run.
Why were you walking on the same route?
Because it was when we lived on the Docklands.
Oh, brilliant.
There was no other route. The flat was just about 100 yards down the road.
They're going, look at the bloke with the bald wig. He's carrying a lamp and a bin.
Took a bag of old clothes to Oxfam. It was just old T-shirts and a couple of jumpers with holes in it. I don't think anyone will buy them. But the Oxfam is closer to the flat than the wheelie bin is. On the tube on the way back home, saw an advert for a book about a woman who works in a funeral home. She went into work one day, she goes to work on a body, she takes the sheet off of one of the bodies, and it looks exactly like her. This is called a doppelganger.
What's a doppelganger to you?
It's the thing I read about him ages ago where someone was walking down the street.
Yeah, and he sees someone who looked a bit like him.
And no, this was weirder than that.
Go on.
He remembers, like, going down that street as a kid on his bike, whistling.
Yeah.
And then he's walking down the street, going to get some milk or whatever from the shop. Little bike comes whizzing past. He hears the whistling, he goes, that's weird. Looks at it, it was him when he was a kid. So it's like a time.
Shit. What do you mean it was him as a kid?
This is like a different form of doppelganger. It's just...
Well, it's impossible, it's rubbish.
Some sort of time thing, isn't it?
No,
Just
it's
time,
but that's impossible, so don't
It's
worry
just some
about
kind
it.
of time thing, Rick. No.
Yeah, it's
just
something
some
you
kind of time
read
thing.
again on the internet, or it was a short story, or something someone told you.
On my walk back from the tube, I saw a jogger who was pushing a pram at the same time. The kid looked terrified. Got my science book out. It said that the static you get on the telly when a channel isn't tuned in properly is radiation that is still knocking about from when the Big Bang happened. I thought about the Big Bang and wondered if it was really a Big Bang or did it just sound louder as there was no other noise to drown it out.
Good point, though, isn't it?
Carl's diary, Rick, never ceases to amaze.
Oh, well, it's that time now. Yeah? It's the big one.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news!
Right, there was this
Monkey?
this fella, right, who he had a problem with his eyes, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to the doctors and he goes, I've got a problem with my eyes. And he goes, yeah, they bad them, right? He goes, it was in America, you know, like how you have to pay for medical stuff and all that.
Mm.
And the doctor said, oh, if I fix them, it's going to be like 10 grand, right?
Mm.
He's like, but I haven't got the money, doctor. He goes, well, I can't help you then. You know, there's a lot of people with bad eyes like them. Can't do anything for you. So he goes, oh, it's getting worse. I can't do anything. So anyway, so he goes home.
Is that the price of human eyes, is it?
So he goes home, he's looking in the paper, right? And he sort of sees in the adverts at the back. And there's a little advert there saying cheap doctors, right?
No, bollocks.
Oh, no.
No.
So he's thinking, oh, maybe that's what I need, right? So he calls them up. Woman's there. She's like, wait, what can I do? He goes, I've got bad eyes and that. She says, oh, come in tomorrow, we'll sort them out. She's like, brilliant, I'll see you then. Right? So he goes down there and he says, right, you know, I can hardly see. My eyes have got in really bad state and what have you.
Right.
Need to have them sorted out. I don't know what you do. Whatever you do,
Right.
I need
Now,
doing.
his eyes are so bad, can he see the doctors? He can...
Not really,
Can't
sort
really-
of
he's
squinting
squinting.
and that, but, you know, so he's like, do I need to see the doctor to, you know, have a word and tell him what problems? She's like, no, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about
just,
it.
I'd be comfortable if it's a...
just you know, just let me inject you and we'll knock you out and we'll get on with it. And
on,
it's
we'll
like,
get the
well,
doctor
it's-
in.
Can I just tell you something about chimps as well, just before you continue?
Go on.
You know, they don't have opposable thumbs.
Now,
which is
why
what-
are opposable thumbs useful, Rick?
Well, to grip something, to do anything like, you know, even simple stuff like writing, so let alone surgery. So without an
But
opposable
can I just check
thumb-
now?
Go on.
So if I was a doctor and I was doing any form of difficult surgery, would I need opposable thumbs?
You'd need opposable thumbs
To be a
And-
doctor,
and without
eventually.
you couldn't do anything. You
Th-
could.
thanks for clearing that up.
Because the opposable thumb allowed something in our evolution called the precision grip.
Right.
So without that, you couldn't do anything.
I'm just glad they've got that cleared up, thanks.
So anyway, so he's had the injection, he's nodding off and what have you, right? His eyes are sort of closing and that. He hears the door open, he sort of just sees this little fella coming in and he's like, hello, doctor. He's trying to, like, make a chat with it.
Sure.
But, like, he's just nodding off. No, just...
Oh, he's
he
never
or
called
she,
a doctor.
was it he or she?
These people have done 7 years medical
Deeply
training.
respected people.
How could you call it it?
So anyway, he thought, it's weird he didn't answer, but, doctors can be quite moody, they're highly intelligent, they don't need...
Especially little airy ones.
Well, just idle chit-chat. There's no room for that, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm
Yeah,
here to do a job.
it's just. Oh, yeah, but if I'm going in to have my eyes done, I want a little bit of idle chimp chat.
So anyway, time passes, right? He sort of wakes up and he opens his eyes, right? And it's brilliant, he can't believe it.
Eyes are perfect.
He's had the op. He can't believe the sight. He's like, nurse, right? And the nurse comes in because I can't believe it. This is brilliant. I've never had this such good sight. Do you know what I mean? Even when I was a baby, and my eyes were new, I didn't see this good.
Great.
So she's like, well, that's
You realise the nurse is a panda.
that's what we do, right? So he said, right, so can I just see the doctor and just say thanks and that? She's like, well, to be honest, he's specialised in what he does. There's a lot of
What
work.
a load of bollocks this is getting.
Please.
Where did you get this from?
No, come on, let's hear the end of the news.
There's a lot of like operations he's got to do.
Yeah.
So leave him to it. He's just having a kip. I'll let him know that you were grateful. Pays the check. Off you go. Go and enjoy looking at stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, no, I just what's wrong with that? I just want to see that. So she's
No,
like,
that's
no,
fine.
leave it. Just leave.
Yeah, exactly. Leave it. If
And he's
says-
like, yeah, but I can't. I want to thank him. So he's done such a good thing for me. So they're getting into a bit of an argument and what have you, and the voices are raising, right? Door opens.
Going to wake the doctor up.
Well, that's what they did. They woke it up, right?
They woke
So-
it up.
It.
So the door opens, right? Little monkey comes out, and he's like, "What's going on here? It's a hospital. Why is a monkey knocking about?"
Yeah.
So the woman said, "Well, what do you mean? He's the doctor." Right? So he's like, "You are having a laugh, aren't you?" She goes, "Look, don't complain. Your eyes are sorted.
Yeah.
The doctor's done it. What's the problem?" He said, "Well, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have come here." She said, "Well, what do you mean you didn't know that?" She said, "The advert in the paper you read, it's like chimp doctors."
That is the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. That really is the worst.
What? And because his eyes were so bad, he thought it said cheap doctors.
He saw the advert and it said chimp doctors, but because his eyes were bad, he just saw it.
What journal is this in?
It was years ago because it sort of says how the monkey sort of carried on working for a few years. He couldn't do anything
Then
about
just
it. He had to
retired to
leave
play
it.
golf.
It's absolute bollocks.
It's
There's no way. I mean, it's not even worth talking about. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's the most ridiculous monkey news you've ever heard, and that's saying something.
Chimp doctors, cheap. It's easy mistake.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
We do, of course, Rick, every week get thousands of emails. I mean, it's Freddie from Winchester says, of course, it was recently Valentine's Day. What's the most romantic thing that you've done for Suzanne, Carl, that you can think of?
I don't really do all that.
Sure.
Valentine's Day stuff.
It's just the problem is if you do it once, they expect it every year.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Christmas and stuff, innit? It's like that's what you do now every year.
Every day, yeah.
So I prefer to just sort of wait. Do you know what I mean? And you know, if I think of an idea or I know of something that she wants, I might get her something, but I might not do it on Valentine's Day. It's that thing. It's like how I've said about Pancake Tuesday. Make it Pancake Wednesday. Have it when you want. Why am I waiting? Why am I waiting for someone to tell me when I can have a pancake? I'll have it today if I want one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Pancake Tuesday, no, I won't bother. I'll have trifle. So it's the same with this. You know, with Suzanne. Luckily, right? I mean, Valentine's Day and what have you. She was ill.
Luckily.
So we didn't have to go out. So I'd say, is he asking for advice?
Well, I suppose, yeah, certainly you may as well give it.
Treat them when they deserve it.
All right.
I remember once when Suzanne was ill, she had a fever, but there was no food in the house. What did you suggest to her? She was too ill.
Well, it was when we were still living in Manchester and that, and you know, we needed to get some food in for tea and stuff. And I said, come to the supermarket. She was like, no, I'm ill, you go. And I hate buying food. I just sort of get a bit blank when I'm looking at it. There's too much, isn't there? That's the problem. You go down all these aisles and there's just too much. So anyway, I said, no, come with me. She was like, oh, but I've got this fever, I'm hot and everything. So I said, well, come to the supermarket, you go on the frozen aisle, cool yourself down. And she did, and she said, you know, it made it worse, she was ill for another 3 days.
How would you go about chatting up a woman in a bar? What tips could you give?
I've never worked like that. It's always been like a friend of a friend and all that, and just happened to meet them. And then, you know, you have a chat, and then...
How did you meet Suzanne?
That was when I was working with her, and she gave me 20p for the hot chocolate machine. She never asked for it back. Thought she's all right. Been there sort of 11 years, so it works.
Has she ever given you that? You've never given that 20p
Never
back?
asked for it back.
Did you return the favour, perhaps on the next date? You buy her a Kit Kat or something?
No, I don't think I did. I think word got out that she liked me and that. And what did I do? I think I did some work for her, did some editing for her, sort of show off my skills and that.
Sure.
And she was like, oh, you're good at this, aren't you? I was like, yeah. And I think she got us another drink because I was doing that editing for her in my own time.
So you're up on the deal, aren't you? Because I know now, I know for a fact that you've not spent any money on her in 11 years, so you're 40p up.
At least. Lawrence from New York says, I was wondering how Mr. K. Dilkington would interpret this famous saying of philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. The quote is, if a lion could talk, we could not understand him.
Even if he's English.
Yeah, if a lion could speak English, so there's no language barrier, he's speaking English words and using all the correct grammar and everything, but you wouldn't be able to understand what he was saying.
Why?
Because it is from a different world. His frames of reference would be so bizarre that you wouldn't be able to get a grasp on what he was talking about, because you'd have so little in common, even if he used real words.
No, but he's talking English.
Yeah, no, but his reference points would be just so far removed. You know, they're removed slightly when if you saw two people talking about Kierkegaard, you'd
I
hear...
wouldn't understand that.
Exactly. So remove that 1 billion times to a different species with different input.
No, but it depends. If I'm talking to a lion in London Zoo,
Yeah.
he'll be saying, oh, I'm fed up with being stuck in here. I'll go, yeah. It's like that. It depends what his background is. I mean, there's some people who might have lived down the road from me, but have a totally different life.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter that it's a lion, does it?
Well, yeah, because they're just trying to remove it even more. So now it's not just a bloke who lived a few doors away. Now it's not even a bloke. Now it's not even...
Yeah, but I'd pick something smaller or something, you know, a worm without a mouth. I'd go, definitely not.
What? Definitely not what?
I wouldn't be having a chat with it. I just think that a worm that's underground,
Yeah.
what's it got to offer me? It's blind and it hasn't got a mouth. It's not going to be a good day out with it, is what I'm saying. It's not going to have that much to say to me, even if it's English. Right?
Even if it's
And how can you tell if a worm is English? Does it wear a very tiny bowler hat?
Oh, Christ.
But do you understand?
What about a jellyfish?
No, you see, I think that's where you can say you wouldn't be able to have a good chat with them, because to me, the sea might as well be another world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In a way, I think the fish sort of have more rights than us,
What do you mean?
just because when whoever made the world, right?
Yeah.
Say, you know, we're just bigging up God, but if I was to have a go at him,
Yeah.
I'd say, you added too much water.
Criticism 1 to God, right?
So,
How would you have changed that? Just
more land.
Fair enough. Now, why have fish got more rights than us? That was what I was interested in.
Because there's loads of them, and when you look at the amount of sea on the world, right? There's loads of that. You only have to like I was in Malaga the other week, right? And you look in the sea. There's loads of different fish, and that's just in like 8-foot water. If you go miles out, there's like all sorts of weird fish, isn't there, with like lights on them and everything. So, and there's just millions of different types.
Yeah.
Now,
But why does that mean they've got more rights than us?
just because I think, rights come in numbers, don't they? If you know what I mean. Like, if there's one of you shouting, people go, oh, he's an idiot, shut up, whatever. If there's loads of you shouting, they go, oh, best listen to him, see what they've got to say.
Right.
And that's what I mean about fish.
Yeah.
There's loads of fish,
Right.
so
But they're not really making their voices heard, though, are they, Carl?
Yeah.
I know, because they're underwater. But what I mean is, I don't know what I mean.
Carl, right? What do you think it's like being a crab? If you could go now, your mind into a crab, what would you see? Where would you be? What would you be doing? What would you be thinking? What do you think of all the other things the crabs you'd see, the squids you'd see? What's it like, do you think? I want you to. It's like creative writing. Just think. Just let yourself go. Come on.
It's got to be a crab.
What do you think of a slug? What do you think to be a slug? What would you do if you were transported now into a slug? What would you do? And Suzanne, you're suddenly in the kitchen, but you're a slug, and Suzanne's sort of like there, just making tea and that. How do you let her know it's you?
It's impossible. I'd just chuck myself into the salt pot or something. No, because what do you do? I'd hate that. That would be horrible, that.
Oh, God.
Have you ever read Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, in which a
think
man wakes up and he's turned into a giant beetle? And that's the whole story. I think it might be of interest to you.
So what happened to him with the beetle?
Well, I don't want to ruin it for you in case you read
No,
it.
I
but
won't be
it's-
reading it, don't worry.
He joined a pop group with 3 other people. He was brilliant.
No, it's a really wonderful book. It's a kind of almost heartbreaking because, of course, he does, like Ricky's saying, he finds it very hard then to relate to other people, even though he still has the consciousness of a human. His parents, his rest of his family, they don't know how to deal with him, because he's a giant beetle. He becomes a freak, he becomes an outsider. It's terrible, know.
But hang on, though. Is he a giant beetle? Or
Yeah.
is it... Well, yeah, that's not going to go down well, is it? That, of course, people aren't going to like you. But if it's a normal-sized one, then you just get in with the other beetles, don't you? Whereas if you're a
But you'd be
giant...
sort of
How would you do that? How would you ingratiate yourself? Right, so you're suddenly a beetle. You're Carl Pilkington, right? There's other people. They're doing their business. They're scuttling around. And you go in there and they look at you as a new beetle. What's your first... What do you do? How do you ingratiate yourself?
Well, for a bit, I wouldn't sort of barge into their house and that. I'd wait until they're out and about, and I'd like in life, right? Sort of help them out. I don't know what beetles do all day. I've never seen one doing anything. They just seem to be going from one place to another.
Right.
I've never seen them carrying anything. I don't know what they eat. I don't know what they do. I don't know how we've got them, right? But what I mean is, I'd watch them and I'd sort of help them out. And I mean, it's like going on a date or meeting a woman, isn't it?
But what if there is...
Whoa, hang on, what do you mean? How is it like going on a date with a woman?
Well, it's like I said about Suzanne with her hot chocolate. She bought me that, and I've gone, she's all right. Right? She gets me another one. Before I know it, she's living with me. So, it's...
So you're all these beetles, they're scrubbing around, right? You're sort of like watching them, and then you realise that you want to mate with this female beetle. What do you do? What's your first move?
Yeah, but I don't know what beetles do I? So I don't know how what you do. I don't know if you go up and go, all right. What do they do? How do they get on?
Well,
It's a different world. I don't know yet, do I? Because I haven't done it.
would you feel bad because having your own mind in this beetle, right? Would you feel bad shagging a beetle? Would you feel that was a bit sick because you've got a human mind?
Well, no, because you just close your eyes and that, won't you? Think of something else. So, get round it that way. There's no point getting down about it because I'm stuck now as a beetle. So you've got to get on with it.
But if you're a slug, you said you'd throw yourself in the salt pot. What would you do if you're a beetle if you got depressed? And you see all the other humans.
No,
you see
but-
your mates, right? They're listening to the iPod. What would you do?
But no, that's what I'm saying, though. Beetles are different because they do tend to hang about with each other. A slug's always on its own. It's a lonely insect, isn't it?
It's not an insect.
All right, what is it?
A mollusk.
Right, they're lonely. I've never seen a load of snails all together or slugs wandering about, whereas beetles seem to knock about in crowds.
Yeah.
So, oh God. Okay, right, another one.
So they're sociable creatures, and it wouldn't bother you that you've got the mind of Carl Pilkington in there? Because you can't communicate with these people,
What if
because they
you're-
don't speak English. They don't have any communication with you.
Yeah, but if it's happened to me, there'll be another one in there.
Okay then. Right. Okay. What would you do? Right. That's the most disgusting thing. What could it be? Right. What would you do? Right. If you were suddenly a fly, right, and you were knocking around with the flies, right, and you had to land on some.
Excrement?
Yeah. What would you do?
Yeah, but I don't have to.
What do you mean? You're a fly.
Yeah,
You're
but I
loving
wouldn't. No, I wouldn't be loving it, though, would I?
it. Why?
Because I'm me in that fly's head. So I don't think other flies would be going, come on, join in. I'd just be like, no, I'll wait here, wait, watch and that. Because I don't see why they have to do that.
What would you do, right, if you had to go back and you were in a, had to go put your mind in like the an unhatched egg of something, like maybe one of those that a wasp was injected in a spider. So you know you're in an egg, right, which is really uncomfortable, in a spider. How would you feel about that, Carl? You're a baby wasp in the abdomen of a spider.
And I know everything that I know now. I'm sat in there.
Yeah. And now I'm in a spider as an unborn wasp. What the fuck am I doing here? What's going on?
I don't know what I'll do there. Probably try and sleep. There's nothing else to do, though, is there?
I just pray to God it never happens.
I don't believe it. He's written it down.
Well, that's the jingle that signals it's time for more extracts from Carl's diary, and we'll lunge straight into it. Wandered down Carnaby Street. There was a happy homeless fella. I gave him £1.50. I thought of a tongue twister after giving him the money. It goes, if you can't treat a cheerful tramp, what sort of tramp can you treat?
It's good, that.
All
Say
right.
it fast.
If you can't treat a cheerful tramp, what sort of tramp can you treat?
Good, isn't it?
Good, that, yeah. You've got too much time on your hands, Carl.
Learned some famous quotes to see if they are as good as my sayings. Number 1, treat every day as if it's your last. Very famous saying. Now, is that something you do, Carl?
But you know, my problem with that one is that if it was your last, you wouldn't want to be doing much. That's the only problem I've got with that. I wouldn't want to, go to a fairground or whatever because you're going, oh, it's my last day, what am I going to do? And I think you'd spend so much time worrying about what you're going to do that you'd end up staying in.
I think you're right. You've taken some of the poetry out of it. I think it means live life to the fullest, right?
I like the fact that you were musing on the idea that if it was your last day, you'd go to the fair. It's getting such a 19th century way of spending your final day.
I know, yeah. Well, the thing is, the other thing is that the only thing that people get depressed about in terms of sort of like, life and death is not the knowledge that they're gonna die, but more the knowledge that they know they're gonna die when they're dying. If someone told you, no one ever knows when they're gonna die, no one ever gets an illness, no one ever gets hit by a truck, everyone passes away peacefully in their sleep, dreaming they're riding a big marshmallow, right? Then you wouldn't care about anything. It wouldn't matter when. It wouldn't matter if you died tomorrow or in 30 years' time. You'd just live life to the full. You'd have it every day would be great. You'd go out, you'd come back, you'd fall asleep. That would be amazing. There'd be no stress. There'd be no angsty, we're all going to die stress, because it wouldn't matter, because it would just be your life. Wouldn't it be amazing if someone guaranteed you, Carl, you're going to die in your sleep? I'm not going to tell you when.
Yeah, but some people do, don't they?
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
but
I
we never
want
know
that.
we're going to, because we stress. What if we get a dreadful illness? What if we,
But we're almost not letting people die naturally anymore, are we? Because we're always bodging stuff up.
What do you mean?
Well, someone who might naturally die in the sleep aren't allowed to naturally die in the sleep because they wake them up with those electric things and get them going again and pop in a new lung or whatever whilst they're at it. That's what I'm saying. They don't just... You never hear it anymore, do you? Frank peacefully died in his sleep. No, he died on the operating table whilst we were putting in a new lung. They don't die naturally anymore.
Frank died peacefully with 40,000 volts going through them and a couple of people going, clear! Clear.
Rushing about today. Got to get a lot done as I'm flying to Malaga tomorrow to see my mum and dad. Don't like flying. I'd be happy if they give you a parachute instead of a life jacket. They say Da Vinci invented the parachute as well as the helicopter. He never got round to making them, though, because he only drew them on some paper. Got up at 5 a.m. as I had to get to Heathrow to get on the plane to see mum and dad in Malaga. Went out for a drink with a cousin who lives in Spain. Ain't seen her for 27 years. Oh, that must have been tricky, making conversation.
I didn't really bother. Because where do you start? I might as well go up to anyone in the street and start having a chat.
Yeah, you have to get further back than... did you want Chantal to win Big Brother?
Yeah. Me dad and me talked about history. I said we shouldn't go on about things that happened ages ago because I bet something similar has happened more recently.
Brilliant.
Read about an island in the Indian Ocean where there are tribesmen still living like they're cavemen. A helicopter tried to land and the tribesmen chucked spears at them. This is what I meant about not having to talk about things that happened ages ago. We have got new cavemen now, so why do we talk about the old ones? People could have lived before, but computers and all that blew up and books got burnt, so all they had left was what these tribesmen have got left.
Ramblings
And that's the ramblings
madman.
of a maniac.
That is
that's just a few hours before you go crazy with a gun in there.
No, but what I mean there is, right, say if all this has happened before, something happens,
Again, a lot of information from the Planet of the Apes.
world ends, right, we come back again somehow.
Yeah. It's the detail you leave out that makes you intriguing. Just like the watch that you can wear that tells you when you're going to die. How does it work? Pop it on your wrist. That's all the detail you need. So the world happened,
No.
we came back, yeah.
Have you seen the pictures? Forget it then if you don't get it.
It's interesting that you had all those profound thoughts about this period in the past when they all lived, but you still found it appropriate to include at the end of that. It says that tribesmen wave their knobs about when they've had enough of having visitors.
That's what it said in the paper. That's what happens. They're quite happy.
What paper is this that you're reading?
It was in like a paper a couple of days ago. It said they don't mind having visitors if they're bringing them coconuts and stuff that they can eat. Once they've got everything they need, they start waving the tackle about, and that means like, right, leave now, which you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, at a dinner party.
My grandfather used to do that.
Oh, did fancy that monkey news?
That jingle is getting more annoyed by the week.
Well, this is the final monkey news, right? I'm not doing this anymore, right? Because we've covered it all.
All the monkey news has been covered?
It has. We've done loads of them. I think all the news that needs to be sort of known has been told, right?
That is the end of the news. Jesus Christ.
What?
Get on with it.
Right, do you know we chatted about the monkey that went into space and stuff?
This was the one that was fed by bananas that came out of a little chute on the spacecraft.
Yeah, it went up there. He came back. He could never get that
The high
high
exactly,
again.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He tried other things. I think he tried to get a band together and that. Right. So anyway, there was loads of monkeys that were signed up to this NASA program, and it was 1961 when this little monkey called Ham, that was his name, as well as him, there was one called Enos. So anyway, what I found out about it since then, Ham went up there, did the left-right business with the bananas. Enos, they didn't put as much work into the trip when he went up there, and something went wrong with the machinery. And do you know how you get a banana for the left button and all that?
It's official now. There's two buttons in this spaceship. Banana dispenser and everything else. The right button is everything else.
But it worked the other way. The machinery went weird.
Oh, no, really?
So it meant that the right button would give him a banana.
Right.
The left button did everything else.
Oh, no.
How does
So
that
what-
how does
so
that
what
happen,
had been
though?
taught-
What? Oh,
This is the problem with electronics, isn't it?
well, no, I don't think
No,
that's...
apparently this is the problem.
But the good I mean, honestly, look it up if you want. This is all online, by the
So
way.
what happened when it all went haywire? What occurred?
Luckily,
Carl, this is online and it's bollocks.
luckily, Enos, because he'd done a few trips,
Right,
so he was like,
experienced.
well, I know this isn't right. As much as I love bananas, this isn't right.
That was his thinking, of course it was.
So anyway, so he came back. They were all like over the moon with him.
He
you
said,
know,
I
going,
can't work with these conditions.
good mission and everything. Well done on working it out. He sorted all that out. It moved on a few years. Armstrong's gone up there. Buzz and that other fella, they've been up there. The monkeys aren't needed anymore. But they were like, we've got all these monkeys who have done NASA training. what we're going to do with them all. And they had to raise £14 million to make them like an old sort of chimp home for retired
Retired NASA-trained monkeys.
Chimpanauts.
Something they've got in there is like a little museum, right, of all the missions and that they've been on, so they can sort of, even though they're not going to be going into space again, they can almost relive it and reminisce of the times that they've had. And
they're reminiscing with each other, are they?
just sort of going,
chatting
oh,
about the
remember
old
that time when it all went wrong, the button became the left when it should have been the right and all the rest of
Yeah.
it. They just, you know, sort of
about old times,
talking
yeah.
about old times and what have you, like old people like to do.
Sure.
And yeah, that's it. So if you want,
Perhaps we should retire Monkey News to that same place.
that's what I mean. So, you know, I hope you've enjoyed the monkey news and that. That was the last one. Look after the monkeys. Do your bit, because they've done their bit. That's it, yeah. But just because I'm not giving the news, look it up. Do you know what I mean? It's all out there. Don't be ignorant.
Wise words.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Remember we were talking a while back about the questionnaire that is often featured at the end of the TV programme Inside the Actors Studio.
Oh, yeah.
Where the host, James Lipton, always asks the same questions to every guest. And it's just supposed to sort of, get their creative, juices flowing, their mind working. We did ask Carl some of them. We never completed the questionnaire.
Oh, let's
I thought
carry
I'd
on with
fire
that
a few
then.
more at him.
And that'll also introduce people to the way his mind works a little bit. Okay.
What sound or noise do you love, Carl?
There isn't really one that I love. Nice noises,
Yeah.
like the ones you get. Like I like going in the park, right? And you go, oh, that's nice, isn't it? And you get like bird noises and stuff. But with those bird noises comes a bit of stress, right? Because I was in there the other day, and like I say, little bird noises and that, and a little robin was there, and I thought that's odd. That's out early, right? Because it's like sort of summertime and that.
Sure.
And then I thought, oh, that's nice. And I was watching it, and then it got like a little worm, right? And I was like, hey, put it down, right?
Sorry, whoa! What do you mean?
Because
Why
I
are you
didn't-
interfering? Why were you interfering
In nature.
with a robin taking a worm?
Just because it was a nice sunny day and that, and I thought, you see, worms normally come out when it's raining, don't they? And you go, well, I bet they're happy to die, in a way, because it's chucking it down, it's miserable. They come to the top of the soil then, don't they?
Yeah.
When it's miserable. But it was a sunny day.
That's they don't drown, I assume.
No, it's not that, is it? It's just that they hear the water or something falling on the ground and they go up to see what's happening.
What? No, wait. But why do they come up when they think it's raining? You're a worm, okay? It starts raining. Tell me your thought process.
Well, you just kind of, you're down there, you can't see anything, it's dark anyway.
Yeah.
So the rain's coming down on the land, the worm goes, what's going on?
The worm goes, what's going on?
He wiggles up to the top.
So what does he do?
So it goes up and it sort of sees it's raining, and then it goes back down again, doesn't it? But that's what I'm saying about.
What do you mean? What is this world where he goes, oh, it's just rain again? Oh, so that's the 400th time I've been caught out this year. It's rain. I'll remember next time I won't come up. What do you think a worm is capable of in terms of cognitive thought?
What do you mean?
Well, a worm can basically tell certain chemicals and certain light patterns. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, and
It's not thinking, it's not choosing its favourite food.
you don't know that, though, is what I'm saying. You don't know what things are thinking. Everything thinks.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. The thinking...
There's something in this room that's not.
All right, what about this one, then? What about flowers? Do you think they've got
A mind.
a feeling? Because here's something that...
Again, they use phototropism. They go towards the sun. They close and
All right,
open.
well,
Can you
They
stop
grow.
using long words, Rick, like sun?
Listen, do you know I've been to my mum and dad's, right? I was talking to my mum about stuff,
All right.
and she was saying how this flower solved a crime. What happened was there was a murder, right, in an office. So they said it's obvious that someone who works in the office did this murder because that person's only a sort of a typist. He has, they've done nothing wrong. So they said that's narrowed it down, right? So this flower man came in, and he said, "I can sort this out for you." So they said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, during the murder, the plant was knocked off the cabinet,
Yeah.
Right.
and he had some special wires that he can put on the
Special
flower,
wires, yeah.
on the flower, and it's sort of shaking and stuff because even though you can't see it, flowers pick up bad vibes and what have you. If you shake a plant, it doesn't like it.
Okay.
Right? So what happened was, he said, "Right, what we'll do, we'll put the plant back on the shelf.
Yep.
We'll water it. We'll calm it down. Then get
Give it a nice cup of tea.
every member of staff
Right.
to come in the room
Yeah.
and just go near the flower.
Right.
So don't tell them.
So like a lineup for the flower.
kind
Yeah.
of.
Kind of like a
Yeah.
lineup.
But
sure.
don't tell them what we're doing. Just send them in
No.
and say, stand by that cabinet where the
Yeah.
murder happened and what have you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a long day. They were getting through a lot of stuff. It was a big office block.
Yeah.
They were going, this isn't working. The flower's not budging. Suddenly, they get into like the last part of the day when they were almost giving up.
They call in a sketch artist. The plant gives them a...
Some caretaker fella
Caretaker, yeah.
said, go over there.
Was it?
You
Was
know,
it an
so-
old man that? I mean, because Scooby-Doo didn't like him from the beginning.
No.
They send the caretaker over to the plant. He's going, he's thinking, I've got away with this.
Of course.
Plant starts shaking, what have you. They did him.
Okay, wait a minute then. So, was there any other evidence?
Was that the only evidence they used in the trial?
Well, no, it's one of them things, though. Imagine it, if you're that caretaker and you're thinking, I've got away with this, then suddenly a plant grasses you up. You weren't expecting that. So suddenly you're off guard.
And you go, okay, can't get that chrysanthemum away from me, I did it. You're talking absolute bollocks. That was one of the most nonsense pieces of shit I've ever heard
But
in my
anyway,
life.
listen, well, it happened, but...
It didn't
because you
happen.
said it. But what I was saying is, about the worm, this robin that I saw that was eating the worm, it had hold of it, and I thought it's a sunny day and that, give the worm a break sort of thing. So I went, oh, like that, and it sort of dropped it in shock. But then when it realised I wasn't that near it, it picked it up again and swallowed it. And I just thought, oh... Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean, no.
I just thought it's a sunny day and everything. Normally birds are nice noises that I like, and yet there it is going about wrecking lives.
Wrecking lives! It was a
But it just swallowed it really quickly in that, and I just thought, there's the worm. It came out, it was happy, didn't know what was going on, and it had an extra chance. The robin dropped it, and then it got it again and ate it, and I just made me a bit fed up.
Well, do you know why, don't you? You couldn't outwit a robin. The worm was going, oh, God, Carl Pilkington. So that's who's been sent to save me, is it, God? You've sent Carl Pilkington, oh, I'm dead. That's it, OK, eat me.
But all I'm saying is our bird noises are normally quite relaxing, but not for the worm.
Unbelievable. That was one question.
What sound or noise do you hate?
As me or as a worm?
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
Why would we be asking a worm?
I've never heard an actor say that to James Lipton. When he says, what noise do you hate? What, as me or a worm?
No, but
Wow.
all I'm saying is because of my last question, that's what I was saying. A bird noise is relaxing to me.
Right.
Well, it's not anymore because I think of all the deaths and stuff that go around that.
So now you hate the sound of birds?
I'm just saying it's changed my view on it. It's
So
it's like anything, isn't it? Every noise can mean a disaster.
Can it? Why would the sound of laughter, people laughing, why would that also signify disaster?
If you wake up in the night by the sound of, like, a baby laughing,
Baby laughing!
No, if I had a baby, right, and Suzanne was out, she'd work nights or something.
Yeah.
And I'd nodded off, I'd put the baby to sleep.
Yeah.
And then it's 3 a.m. and I'm woken up by the sound of a baby laughing. That would terrify me.
How is this that? I just think the baby's sitting up in a chair like Chucky, going.
Well, no, I think the baby's reading his diary. Thinking, oh, Christ, this is my father. I just hope I'm adopted.
Oh, God, a baby laughing.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
This is you as you, not as you as a worm.
But have I had the training?
Oh, for
Oh.
No, well, I've said before, haven't I, about maybe having a go at an operation.
I don't know why it leaps from where. It leaps from no ambition, where if he could have a job, it would his best job he's ever had is a paper round, and if he could have a job, he'd like go to the cobbler once a week and then walk a dog. To I'd like to have a go at thoracic surgery.
No, I'm just saying, I bet it's like we do this, and, you know, some people like listening to it and what have you, and you go, fair enough, but I never feel like I'm doing anything of any worth.
No, you're absolutely right there.
But if you're going into like an hospital, which are places that are pretty miserable anyway, as an office space, not only have you got to go in that building and work in it, but you've then got the pressure of changing a lung or whatever I've said before. Right?
Changing a lung, yeah.
But I'd like to have a go at it so I can say
You've done it.
I've done that.
So, under what circumstances, in what world, do you think anyone's going to let you have a go at changing a lung and that? Jim will fix it.
No, I'm just saying the
Comic
way,
relief.
but the way the world is, and the way that there's more and more people, more and more doctors are needed. I mean, it's already happening now that people are doing jobs that they're not really qualified for because they get sort of what's the word? Sort of uppered too early.
Upward.
Upward! I love the fact it's basic language. It's like it's unbelievable. Upward.
Do you know what I mean?
Promoted.
Yeah, promoted.
Yeah.
They get promoted.
I
too
prefer
early.
upward.
Upward's great.
Why was I not upward? Unbelievable.
So do you know what I mean? I think because more and more people are knocking about, we need more and more doctors.
Yeah.
You get a job in a doctor's, you're going to be promoted sooner now, I think.
Yeah. Well, what I'd do is I'd probably upper you, and then what's the word? You go away them.
I think it is you go away them.
You leave the door. You leave the door. You fire them. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'd upper you and go away the doctor, if anything.
But I've been to, you know how I don't like going to the doctors and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you're always scared that they might investigate below the bridge.
Yeah, but I checked on that before. I signed up to it, and then they said, right, before we can take you on as a patient, you've got to have a health check, right? Which I thought was odd, because it's almost like saying, if you're ill, we can't be having you coming here, right? But I said, right, okay, fair enough. What is this health check? And they said, oh, you know, we just check your body out and make sure you're fit and healthy. And I thought, that isn't enough information. You know, I know if it's the old finger trick, or and I said, what do you mean though? When you said health check, what do you do? And she said, oh, it's just, I think she knew what I was getting at. And she said, oh, it's just the blood pressure, your height, your weight. That's about it. So I went and had it and stuff. But you had to, before you sort of said, right, I want this doctor, they give you loads of forms to fill out, right? And one of the things they did was, if you die, what do you want to give away? Right? Like a donor.
Mm.
And what have you, and I thought, I really thought about it for 40 minutes or so. I didn't just rush into it. I was sat there thinking, you know, if I'm dead, does it matter and stuff? But I was really concerned when it said about the eyes.
Right.
Right. Why? What do you mean? What? Because can they have your eyes after you die?
It was. I think it was fourth on the list.
Why do you care about giving your eyes away when you're dead?
Just because of that thing of, you know, we don't know for sure yet. I know that you poo-poo it, but the afterlife thing.
So why, in an afterlife, would you want your eyes more than your liver and your kidneys and your lungs and your heart?
Because ghosts don't eat, do they? So you don't need all your liver and your kidneys and stuff, because they're only there to sort your food out. But your eyes, if you're a ghost, I don't want to be a blind ghost. Because you're around forever then, aren't you? Once you're a ghost, that's it. So the idea of being blind when you're alive, you go, well, all right, then maybe in the afterlife I might be treated to a pair of eyes. But the fact of wandering about, dead for years, bumping into stuff...
Oh, God! Oh, it's time.
So-
that's an amazing image.
So I didn't tick that box.
But why? I don't understand. In your theory of the afterlife, why is it that this ghostly Carl, why can he survive without a heart, but he can't survive without eyes? Why? Do you see what I mean? Surely, if you're this ghostly apparition, you can just see everything and you can do everything. You don't need the body.
No,
because you're a ghost.
Yeah, I know, but I think when you're a ghost, say like how they've seen ghosts in.
Right, could I just say now for any listeners, this is not the thoughts and beliefs of the management. There is no such thing as ghosts. I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in ESP or any mumbo-jumbo. Carry on, Carl. So when there's a ghost, yeah.
When they see ghosts in like old castles and stuff,
yeah.
they've had their head cut off because they've been up to no good, like years ago.
But they're carrying it around normally under their arm.
That's what I'm saying. It hasn't reattached itself. So if you take the eyes out...
But Carl, how is this ghostly creature able to function? It doesn't have its head on anyway. It's carrying it under its arm. So the suspicion is it doesn't need its head.
No, it does.
It just happens to be carrying it around because it wants to keep it with it.
The ghost is always in the last condition that it was in when it was in...
Who makes these rules?
The way you are in your last bit of life is how you are as a ghost forever, even in the fashion. Like I say, the ghosts that you see never wear modern clothes, so it's always the Victorian stuff. Now, if they could change it, they would, but they can't because they're stuck with it. So that's
Why
what
did you
I'm
see
saying with the eyes.
cavemen ghosts? When did ghosts start? They didn't kick in till about 1830, did they? What if you die when you're having a rectal examination? Are you always bent forward with your trousers around your ankles and someone's finger up your
But
arse?
why would you die when you're having that done? That's why I'm not having it done, if that's...
No. But you might have both been suddenly killed in a terrible disaster.
Yeah, a meteorite hit you.
That's when you get the moaning ghosts, isn't it? They're the ones who aren't happy.
So you're going round, bent forward, you've got a doctor's finger up your arse,
Yeah.
and what are you doing?
You're sort of going, oh... And that's when you have to get the vicar round.
What do you mean?
They have to put you to rest and what have you, don't they?
And what does a vicar do when he's going? So I get the vicar round. It's years later. It's 100 years later. You're around this doctor's surgery, and there's people coming, and the new doctor there, and it's 2073, and they go, Vicar. They go, Vicar, there's a strange ghostly apparition. It looks like an old doctor, right? And he's got his fingers up this sort of like little... It's like a chimpanzee, but with a shaved head.
No, but the doctor wouldn't be... Are you saying the doctor dies as well?
Yeah,
as
they
you?
both die.
You die at the same time with his finger up your ass. And so you're forever having a little rectal examination with your little trousers around your ankles.
Well, that's when it'd be best not to have your eyes.
Rick, I know this is something you always get excited about. It's Carl's diary. Can we have a jingle?
I don't believe it. He's got a gun.
Thank you very much. Woke up to the news about an elephant in India that had sore feet, so the locals have made it a big pair of slippers. Tried to look online for a picture, but I couldn't find anything.
Sure, they've made it 2 pairs of slippers.
Well, I'm only going by the facts in the diary, Rick, and I would have thought that they were absolutely bona fide and fact-checked and completely accurate. I'd be very surprised if there's any mistakes in here. I'm sure they've done this for an elephant before. I thought elephants have bad memories.
No,
but fair enough. I thought elephants have bad memories. If they have, I'm guessing it's going to keep forgetting where it's left them.
I mean, just to get if it's a myth, the myth completely wrong.
Yeah.
Elephants never forget. That's the saying. Not they always forget, so you can buy them slippers every year.
Carl says, I haven't had a pair of slippers for years. He thinks they're dying out.
No, I love slippers.
I love a pair of slippers,
I love
mate.
a pair of slippers, mate.
Just wear socks.
Slidey on a
no.
slidey on a piece of lino.
I know. And what about if you maybe opening a brand new box of thumbtacks? You drop them all over the floor. You're trying to pick them up.
Rick, I've got to pop across the road to get some milk, but it's right opposite. I'm surely not going to go in my socks, though, am I? But I don't want to put on the shoes. It's mad.
No. Pop some slippers on.
Well, perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't go out in your slippers
Why not?
Just across the street, mate, to get some milk.
because they're inside shoes. You don't go roaming about on tarmac in slippers. That's basic.
But you don't have any slippers, so you're just tiptoeing across the street, you know.
I put my shoes on.
But you can pop out and get the paper and the bottle of milk, can't you, in the slippers without any harm done?
No.
Huh.
Apparently not. That'll make it into the diary. Tried to have a shower, but there was no water.
I love it when he calls me and things go wrong with the flat.
But I like the fact that he tried to have a shower, but there's no water. How long did it take you before you realised he was there for 20 minutes?
Yeah, after 20 minutes, he said, Suzanne, should I be dry?
Yeah, I'm freezing cold.
Yeah, no, you should be sort of wet and warm. Right, there's no water then. Brilliant.
I called the service charge people, but no one was about. Looked outside, but couldn't see any work going on. Great, innit? In India, they can sort out elephants with shoes. In London, we have no water. Hung about for a bit, but still no sign of any water. Brushed my teeth just using the paste and used the little bit that was in the kettle to have a wash. I was pretty chuffed that I thought of using that. Suzanne was a bit annoyed because she wanted a cup of tea. She said, go across the road and buy a big bottle of water.
Not in your socks. Pop some slippers on.
Go across the road and buy a big bottle of water, she said. I never thought of that. You had a wash using the water in the bottom of the kettle?
Yeah, well, that's clean, isn't it?
But how much? There's only a little drop in there.
No, it's a big kettle.
So what, did you just wash your face?
Yeah.
So you didn't wash your body or anything?
Your genitals
Well,
were
you couldn't, could
filthy.
you? You've got to look at what you can do with the water available. People in Africa and that short of water aren't wasting it, saying, oh, the feet are a bit dirty. They drink it. What do you mean?
Had a look online to see what's been going on. Scientists say that Everest, brackets, the mountain, just in case you've confused that with any other Everests.
Maybe the double glazing people.
Yeah. Scientists say that Everest has grown a bit. The way they were talking about it, you'd have thought it's grown loads. It's only inches.
No, isn't that... They found out that it's actually a couple of inches taller than they first thought because their methods of measuring are more accurate than they were 20 years ago. So it's bigger than they thought it was. It hasn't grown.
No, I just think what's happened is at the bottom, because of like people are always climbing up it, aren't they? Right?
Yeah.
So they're sort of wearing away the soil at the bottom.
Talk rubbish.
So they've
it's
just pushed it down.
It's
It's
also
just
measured against sea level. It's not measured about when you get... Otherwise, they'd just dig a big hole, wouldn't they, and go, right, it's down to here. If the peak is measured
at the end
against
of the day,
sea
though,
level...
does it matter at the end of the day?
No, but it's just nice to know, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is we don't need to know that. It's not going to put anyone off. Like Brian Blessed, who's always climbing up there for fun. He's not going to go, oh, I could handle it last year, but 2 more inches. Forget that. Going to be shattered. So don't worry about it. It doesn't matter how big it is. Something else, though, that's happened since, right? They were climbing up there, and someone got near the top, and they were sort of climbing up like that, holding the cliff edge and that.
And they'd forgotten the flag. Had to go back.
No, their hand hit the bit of rock, and it went like, ding. Like, what's that? Ding, ding. Put another hand up, ding, ding. Piano under there. They don't know how it's got there.
Right, you're talking shit again.
Someone's been tipping.
Well, oh, right.
Up Everest.
Okay. The council won't even take away your washing machine unless you pay them. They're not going to sneak up Everest.
No, this is the problem, isn't it? Because the council won't take anything. People are going, what can we do with this?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Just sneak up Everest. It'll take you 9 days, and you may die. But just pop it up on Everest.
Well, I know for a fact that you've confused a few things there, because I think the piano being found was actually somewhere in Scotland, some kind of moor in Scotland, and they found a piano up there, and everyone said, I don't understand, how's the piano doing up here? And it turned out that some guy, one of these people who like tries to break world records, had dragged a piano up there as some kind of feat of endurance, but thought, I'll be damned if I'm going to take it back again, and just left it up there. It wasn't, bloody tipping or aliens or anything. Some scientists have come up with a cure for bird flu. It's somewhat to do with some stuff in horses. They gave the flu to a mouse and then injected it and it's well again. I think we should stop coming up with cures for things as the germs are just getting stronger and stronger. I reckon by 2020, germs will be so big that we will be able to see them in the air. They will no longer be little particles. You wouldn't swallow one. If you did, it won't be the germ that will kill you. You'll just choke to death.
I think that's how we'll die in the future.
Choking on enormous giant germs. And then they'll be like rampaging around the cities, will they?
I'll tell you what, though, right? Now, I'm getting worried now because the stuff he believes and thinks of, it could be mental. Do you know what I mean, though? Like a proper paranoid sort of... one of those people that soon going to live in a loft covered in tinfoil.
Yeah.
Right? And pages of the Bible all the way around the... and Suzanne's having to put on some sort of spacesuit to come in and give him his beans on toast. And he's going to have to polish each bean.
That's what scientists do, isn't it? They just sort of think ahead of everyone else. That's what I'm doing. And the weird thing is, right, Steve, sometime last week, there was a science piece which was close to what I'd already said.
Yeah.
That they've got some germs
Sure.
that like eating sugar, right? They stick them in a lunchbox with a chocolate bar. Within an hour, it was gone, right? And they say now these germs love chocolate and
Did
stuff.
this scientist leave it near this fat scientist that works in the same laboratory? And he went, it's unbelievable. He said, Ted, he went, what? Right, I put the chocolate bar in here with the germ. I came, it's gone. That's amazing. Wow, that's brilliant, that. Do it again. What? Do it again. Leave another one, see if it happens again.
So in the future, you're running around and germs are...
Eating chocolate.
That's not science, that's Pac-Man.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Questions for Carl, just to sort of try and tap into his brain, see what's going on there.
Yeah.
The questionnaire that is often featured at the end of the TV programme Inside the Actor's Studio. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Is that how it works?
Oh.
No,
What do you mean? What's the question?
Well, I don't know. Do you hear so many other things that you have to go through other gates? I can't imagine him being on the door, is what I'm saying. If he owns a place, what's he doing there? He could put anyone on it.
It's St. Peter, isn't it, who's normally minding the gates, famously.
Right, so it's him asking me.
OK, well, let's say it's St. Peter.
No. You go through the gate. Peter goes, oh, you're expected. He's got an appointment. We're going through to God. Go through a few doors. Go up top floor. Right, past the executive washroom into his big office. OK, that overlooks the universe.
So what?
So you've gone in to see God. It's an audience with God. You've died. You've gone to heaven. And what would you like God to say to you at that point?
Probably just say, you've done well and that in your life. You never did anybody any harm. So, welcome to heaven. Any problems, give us a shout. Here's a little layout of like a little map. It's kind of like...
I love this. This is a great answer. And my favourite one is you never did anyone any harm. That's great. That's a brilliant thing for God to say.
Yeah.
So hang on, he's giving you a little map.
So he's got a little map of the area.
Map,
It's
and he'll
big.
sort of say, this is where you go for this is where you go for that. I'd probably ask him about the ghost situation. I'd say, am I now a ghost then? Or is this just like another planet that I've come onto?
Right.
I don't know if he'd answer that. I don't know if he'd be sort of a bit...
Bit cagey.
Yeah, a little bit like, well, I don't want to panic you and stuff. I'd say, right, is it right that I can see past family and that? Because to be honest, I'd probably prefer to stay away.
He doesn't even want to.
No, but because the thing is, if you've
that's
done all, I've
amazing.
done all that in this life, so it's about moving on to another life and meeting different people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point? It's just
Yeah.
like the same all over again, but everywhere's white. I mean, I don't know if it is like
Do you
this.
think God would like this podcast?
Well, I suppose it just kills half an hour, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but time's not a problem for him, is it?
Yeah, it is, because he lives for ages, so he needs loads of filler. I bet he's, doing stuff that he's just like, I'm not really into this, but it's something to do, isn't it?
Sudoku and stuff.
But I think there'll be just as many problems up there as there is here, because at least people are leaving here, whereas up there, that's the thing that I'd be worried about the most, actually, that it's really crowded. Because it's years and years of dead people, isn't it? London does me head in. Up there, it's going to be well busier than that.
What about teenagers, and do you feel that life was better in, say, the 1950s?
I don't know, I wasn't around.
But you understand what it was like in those days? You've seen happy days.
I don't know, people always say, don't they? Old people always say, it's a better life in the 50s. And it's like, yeah, it was for them. Of course it was for them. They're old now. Being old isn't great, is it? So you're just happy with your lot. I suppose I was happiest in about 1984.
Right.
Specific year.
Why? Why was that?
It's just I was free and happy. Do you
How
know what I mean?
old were you?
I don't know.
He's just counting on his fingers now.
12.
Right, okay.
And it was just good.
So the happiest days of your life were between the age of 12 and 13?
Yeah, it was good. I had the world ahead of me.
Little did you know your hair was going to fall out and you were going to whinge every minute of the day.
I had my bike. I like messing about my bike. You had your mates. I had a pet magpie.
So you were probably the teenager that you eventually hate?
Probably.
Were you a good lad, law-abiding?
I wasn't bad. I just sort of, just potted about. I mean, when people talk about what was on the telly back then, I don't have that much memory of it because I was always out. I was always playing out.
What were you doing when you were out?
Just playing about, just like on a bike or...
Just riding in a circle endlessly through blizzards,
I loved it.
rain, sleet, hail.
I never seemed to be in. I was always... When everyone always goes, where were you when Band-Aid was happening? I was always out on my bike. And everything was
like you and McGregor?
A memory's always sort of like coming in for some orange and looking at the telly and seeing Princess Diana's getting married, and my mum says, have you seen this? And I'm going, oh, I'm going out on my bike. I was always doing that. The only time I was in my house...
This is why you don't know anything, because you never stopped.
Yeah, but this is what being a kid's about.
But
That's
all
what I
the
mean, being
information
free.
you have, Carl, is as though you've gleaned it as you raced by on a bike. It's almost like, every piece of information you have.
Your hair blowing in the wind. Carl, your hair will blow out one day. Oh, don't talk stupid, ma'am.
It was easy. So, yeah, 12 to 13 was good.
But you see...
And it was all downhill from then, was it?
13, you're a teenager then, aren't you? Life got tough.
Yeah. How did it get tough?
Just straight away when I was 13, my mum was like, oh, it's your 13th birthday, you're a teenager now.
Right.
And she gave us a quid to go and get a cake to celebrate it. Went to the supermarket, got a cake, and I just thought, I don't like the look of this. Don't like the look of the way the future is here.
On his 13th birthday.
Well, you were buying a cake. What did you see at the supermarket?
It was kind of like, I don't know, I suddenly felt grown up. And I didn't like it.
But I think you were always about 58, really, with your outlook.
Well, yeah, my mum always said I was old. She said I was an old baby. She said I could frown before I could walk. So they always had a bit of a worry look on my face. Didn't say much, just always listened. My eyes moved about more than I did. Just sat there looking around, looking stressed.
My eyes moved about more than I did. Oh dear, I couldn't walk. Well, I can't walk, but I'll try and get a bit of movement in my face. It's a workout, a baby workout. Oh, babies, well, if you can't walk, what about your face? Let your face do the walking.
It sounds like that horror film. It sounds like Pilkington's Baby.
Yeah.
Just you lying there in your cot.
I didn't like all the stuff that's set up for you. Like, my mum tried to send me to, a nursery. I said, no, I'm not having this.
Just like that.
I said when I'm older and I've got to go, I'll go, but let's leave out this bit. And she said, all right. She was...
I love that he could reason with her. I love him. He's 3 years old with a pipe. She's going, you're going to nursery. She goes, I think not, Mum.
I mean, kids don't play out, do they? Kids, parents are scared to let the kids play out, and that's why the streets are dangerous now, because no one's playing out on the streets. Whereas when I was a kid, everyone was out on the streets. The streets were safer, because there was more people knocking about.
Right.
Let the kids play out.
It must be like a constant, like a Larry painting, his front garden, do you know what I mean? Just loads of people just walking around.
There was never any problems. I was sort of taken away by some fella.
What?
Whoa.
No, I was playing about in the garden.
Yeah.
But my dad's mate, Tony, he did tiling with him. He drove past, and he saw me looking a bit fed up, so he just leant over, picked me up, took me to the pub. Now, the thing is, there wasn't panic. People weren't going, oh, God, where's Carl gone?
He's out.
Just
How old were you?
He's down the pub. He's 4 years old, yeah. Well, he's only having a...
He's down the pub with Tony, probably playing darts.
Yeah, I was about 3 or 4.
Sorry, so some bloke drives by who happens to be a friend of your dad's, thinks that baby looks grumpy.
Yeah.
I'm taking him down to
But
the pub.
that's what it was
Tony,
like.
you bringing a baby to the pub? Yeah, I might do. Yeah, we're all bringing ours. All right, see you later, mate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whereas now they go, the baby's gone. There's a big full-on panic going
Yeah,
on.
but I think it says more about your parents that they didn't do that. They looked out in the back car and you were gone. Some bloke's driving off in a van. They're just going, oh, well,
We rode down the pub.
doesn't Princess Diana look lovely? This is absurd. So what happened when you got down the pub?
I just was there for a bit, and then
For a bit, just had a game of pool.
then my dad came in. It was like, oh, there you are.
Oh, there you are! I love that! Where's my baby? I'm just going to have a quick pint. Oh, there you are. All right, mate.
So, yeah, I think things were better back then.
Well, it's that time again.
It's Carl's diary.
Oh, what's he written today?
Told Suzanne that I had read that we will have spoken to aliens by the year 2025. Ricky once told me that if a lion could speak English, it still couldn't have a good chat with us because its life is different to ours. If that's true, we've got no chance with an alien. I'd be worried that an alien could read my mind. I had that problem once years ago when I worked in a studio making cassettes. Some mind-reading woman was having some cassettes made. She waited while I did them. She had a small dog. I knew she was trying to read my mind, so I just thought about the dog. I thought that would confuse her, because she wouldn't understand why I was thinking about her dog.
That's amazing.
So, firstly, how did you know she was a mind-reading woman?
Everybody who came in having cassettes done, you'd find out about what the job is. So, you know, if it's a band or whatever, it might be a police station needing blank cassettes to interview people.
Yeah.
And she had them to sort of use during a thing where they do mind reading and stuff. So
Right.
you get a
recording
of it.
Yeah.
And she was just there and she was staring at me like that, just looking over. And the dog was sort of looking worried, and they pick up vibes, don't they?
No.
They do.
And why was
Were they looking... I'm not being funny. Were they looking at the roundness of your head, do you
They
think?
were just looking at me, and I was sort of panicking a bit. And the more that I was thinking she's reading my mind, I was thinking she knows that I know that she's reading my mind. So I just stopped thinking about her reading my mind, thought about the dog
What were you thinking about the dog?
running about on the beach.
He remembers what he was thinking.
No, just so she thought, oh, hang on a minute, it's not his mind, it's the dog's mind I'm picking up.
Oh, so you thought she'd go, oh, no, I'm getting it all taken up. I've got a cross line here.
I met up with my mate Laurie. He said he was in a pub at the weekend and saw a bloke whose hands were on the wrong arms.
No! What do you mean?
Well, he had his left hand on his right arm and the right hand on the left arm. I don't think this would be a problem if he's been like that from an early age. When I was in Ripley's in LA, I saw a bloke whose head was on back to front.
That's more annoying, innit, than your hands. Innit?
Now then, would you walk? How would you walk? Would you be walking backwards, Carl, so that you could walk? So you're basically walking forwards.
I reckon I'd walk sideways so nobody would sort of tell the difference. It just looked like...
Oh, God! He solved it again!
He's thought it through. Got home and read my magazine. There was a story about a baby that was born that looked like a frog. What magazine's this?
That made the news. That was in a proper newspaper in the end.
It didn't really have a neck or top half of its head. It would look all right if it always wore a scarf and a hat. The world would be a more interesting place if there were loads of different types of humans like there are creatures. Then some people would be good at certain jobs. Spider people, ant people, builders, cockroach people, dustbin men.
Good idea, isn't it?
I mean,
Cockroach men, spider men, what are you talking about?
Look at some insects, right?
Yeah.
They don't have machinery, yet they're getting by, aren't they? They have their lives like we do. They get up, they wander about, they collect food, they tidy up, they fix stuff, they make their own house. We can't do any of that. So what I'm saying is, why aren't we using them? Why are these cockroaches with all these powers and stuff
Powers?
going about?
It's all these
But
powers.
how could we use them? How could we harness
I've just
them?
told you, dustbin men. Or whatever that
No,
person
you
mean.
said that if they were also men, if they were cockroach men, we could use them.
You've left a big bit out, but when that 1-inch cockroach becomes a 6-foot bloke wearing a jacket.
It's just that we always use insects for like a bit of fun. You see flea circuses and all that, which is all very well, but I don't think it's getting the most out of them.
Woke up at 9:55 a.m. Soon as I woke up, I looked at Suzanne and she looked at me. I said, "Did I tell you about the immune system?" Suzanne started laughing. I said it's amazing. She said, not now.
Oh, God! I was thinking that.
Springing into action, he zips up, his eyes are like... Did I tell you about the immune system? Oh, shut up, Carl. Put the kettle on.
Oh, God! Oh, fucking hell! Carl, let's give him a list. Top 5 something. What are you interested in? Are you interested in news, sport, TV, cars, movies, style?
I mean, I'm into weird stuff, but it seems a bit tight to stick them in a list.
What, like what?
Well, like, sort of freaky people and that. I've got that freak book. But I don't know if they'd be happy if I called one of them up and said, good news, you're at number 1, because you've got 4 legs or whatever. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
OK, then, this is the Carl Pilkington Top 5 Freaks in at number 5.
Probably something not too good at number 5, but it's still interesting. Lighthouse Man.
Who's that?
Lighthouse Man?
What's Lighthouse Man?
It's a fella with a hole in his head. And what he does, rather than moan about it, sticks a candle in it.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
Sticks a candle
What are
in
you
it.
talking about? Where is the hole?
I bet he didn't call himself Lighthouse Man, did he?
Well, I don't know. It's just what he got nicknamed because he had this hole. Doctors were like, "There's nothing we can do. Can't fill it." Thought, what can I do with it? And it was of the days when there was no electric and that. You had to walk about with a candle.
Right.
Just thought, hang on a minute.
I can have both
Got a
hands
little
for
candle
you.
holder here. Stuck a candle in it. And he just got nicknamed the Lighthouse Man. So again, it's not that amazing, but I like the way he was sort of energy efficient.
So was it in his forehead?
No, on the very top of his head.
That's perfect. You don't want it in the forehead, Steve. You'd have to walk back with
That'd
your
be
neck
ridiculous.
cricked.
So he was like a kind of human jack-o'-lantern.
He's a Lighthouse Man. What, Steve, what
Sorry, mate, yeah, I
better
forgot
description
about
do you
that.
need than the Lighthouse Man?
So yeah, he's probably at number 5.
Wow, that's at number 5, Steve.
Number 4.
What about Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square?
Again, you're getting what it says in the tin there, aren't you?
Right.
And it's just this woman who had a face like a pig. And the rumour was
Yeah.
that it wasn't a woman. Someone said it was a pet bear and they'd shaved it. That's what that's what
Was
I've
this
heard.
someone? Was this someone you saw? Or
No,
that you
no,
just read
this
about?
is going back.
This is years ago.
This is years and years ago.
Yeah.
When there was loads of like weird looking people. I mean, the fact that it's Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square
Yeah.
says that there might have been one in
Piccadilly Circus.
yeah, whatever. So there was a lot more of them knocking about back then.
Let's assume that it was a woman, and the first one, the Lighthouse fellow, he's a human. Do you think people would object because of their disfigurement, deformity, a bit like being called freaks? Do you think?
Well, it gave them a purpose back then. See, if you were a freak years ago, there was work for you. You'd have these circus things. Now, if you've got a funny head, you're on the dole.
Number 3?
What about Elephant Man?
Right.
Stick him at number 3. He's
Number 3.
He's surely the most famous freak ever to have lived, isn't he?
He's the one who got me into it.
Right. Yeah, sure. He's a sort of entry-level freak.
Yeah.
A gateway freak.
Everyone is aware of him.
If the Elephant Man still existed, right, and you got the opportunity to meet him, and you walked in, a couple of questions. 1, what would your first reaction be? And 2, what would you say to him? What would your first question be?
How would I react? Well, I've sort of seen him enough now that it wouldn't shock me. So I don't even think I'd flinch.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, when I first saw you, that was a bit weird. But now, look, I can look at you. I don't double take or anything. What would I say to him, though? I'd probably say, where do you get that hat to fit you? You always had that on. Where do you get that from?
That sort of flat cap that he's got.
Yeah, that one, didn't he? So, yeah, I'd have him. So he's at number 3.
Right. Elephant Man, number 3. I can't wait for 2 and
yeah.
1. Right, OK, number
Well, I know
2.
what my number 1 is. It's just number 2 now. I don't know his name, but there's a fella knocking about. Well, I don't think he's around anymore. But he had like a normal body. Looking at him, you'd go, "What's up with him? He's not a freak." Takes his undies off. Got 2 knobs.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, he doesn't know where to start.
I
Do you
don't
think
know.
he uses them alternately, like have a wee out of this one, have a wee out of that one? Or does he just like spread the load so he's weeing out of both?
I don't think he knows.
What
I
do you
think
mean
it's
he doesn't
sort of
know?
like a lucky dip. When he goes to a urinal,
Yeah.
he can have a little bet with himself. He's just like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
So do you reckon he holds them
Holds
both
them
out?
definitely.
So he takes his trousers down because, I mean, you know...
Yeah, you can't use a Y front.
Right,
It'd be,
Need more like a W front.
yeah. So he pops his cakes down there.
I don't think it's that much of a problem. It's not like...
Well... I don't know.
I'd prefer that than Elephant Man's head.
Well, of course you would.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What if you had Elephant Man's knob?
Yeah, but it didn't work like that, did it? That's the thing. They said he had the body of an elephant, but that's the only thing that wasn't of an elephant standard. His knob was normal. Whereas with this fella, it's the other way round. Everything normal, take the pants off. Oh, well, what's going on here?
But why would you ever take his pants off?
No, I wouldn't. I'm just saying if...
But why, I don't know why you'd be in a situation with this man with two knobs standing there with his pants on and you go pop your pants off. You're not a doctor.
No, I say if I'm waiting in a cubicle and he's there.
For what?
Sorry, you're waiting in the cubicle and he comes in?
I'm waiting to have a wee at a cubicle.
Oh,
He's
in the
taking two
toilet.
urinals up and going, hang on, you don't need them both, do you? He goes, well, actually,
Oh, and then
have a look at this.
Right.
He's got two knobs.
See, I didn't see him at two urinals. I saw him at one, maybe them pointing inwards.
If you had that, and say the first time that you met Suzanne, would you mention that straight up?
Would you say, right, before this goes any further, I've got something to show you?
Well, let's see. Tell me exactly what you would say.
You had normal head then, didn't you?
I had the same head, yeah.
Yeah, but it had, like, hair coming out of it, didn't it? And sort
Yeah,
of like...
yeah, but she also had a smaller arse back then as well, so I think we've both been dumb.
Anyway, we need to get to number one.
Yeah, number one.
Okay, it is.
It's Pillow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Pillow Man. Okay, now explain for those that don't know who he was.
He's a fella with no arms and legs, just a head and a little body. Nickname Pillow Man.
Well, why is he your favourite?
Just because he's amazing. Just the way he just got on with his life. He used to light a cig, just using his lips and his tongue and that.
Oh, I've
And
seen
not
this.
fully lit. He'd buy roll your own.
Yeah, it's in the film Freaks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he
He had a
rolls
shave
it.
as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did he have
Do you
a
think
shave?
he used to do it? He used to get it in his mouth, and I don't know.
Jesus.
It's amazing. Did he have a knob?
I think he did because he had some kids.
What?
Yeah, he had kids. He was an all right looking fella. He wasn't odd looking. It's just that
sorry?
he looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Imagine him with no arms and legs.
Right, that's odd though, isn't it? Really?
It's weird, but you've got to give it to him. You know, I mean, he's there rolling his own. He's pretty cool looking.
I just want to say to people, it's no. You say it looks cool, to, with no arms and no legs to smoke, but don't forget that smoking can stunt your growth.
Yeah, but yeah, remember he was on like this circus freak show thing with like a bearded woman,
Yeah.
right? Which isn't really a freak, is it? She could have had a shave. Have a shave, you're not a freak anymore.
Yeah.
A bearded woman, compared to a fella who's got no arms and legs, a bearded woman, get out. But there was like a fella with no bottom half to his body, called Johnny Eck, was his name. So, when you're knocking about with that crowd, you're going to get a bit. You're going to get a bit. So, yeah, he had kids and they were all normal kids. They had all the limbs.
Did his
and
wife
everything.
had arms and legs?
Never saw his wife.
Never saw his wife.
I think
He was probably ashamed of her. She was a bit of a freak.
for someone like him, you'd think he'd just give up, wouldn't you? You think, forget it. What sort of life is it?
Yeah.
I'm like a Mexican jumping bean. It's not worth living. But he just got on with it. To have a shave, I don't even bother having a shave some days.
No. Nor did the bearded lady. Lazy fucking bitch.
So that's why I've put him at my number one position. It's just amazing, isn't it? The human, how whatever you dealt, some people just get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pillow Man, or Draft Excluder, as I prefer to call him.
There you go. Oh. Now, me and Steve are a couple of big shots. We do this for a laugh, but this is Carl Pilkington's only source of income. This is what you do now, isn't it?
This is my full-time job, yeah.
What do you think of that?
It depresses me.
Why?
This isn't what I ever wanted. Because I haven't got a purpose, have I? I'm sat here talking about the Pillow Man. If it weren't for him, I'd have nothing to say. It just depresses me. That I just wish I had a job where I felt like I was needed. And I don't feel needed. It's not a proper job.
We need you.
We
need you for money for old road.
I know, but this isn't. I wanted something that when you die and that, it's you get up to the gates, whatever, and they say, "What have you done?" And then I'm looking worried, thinking, "Is the Pillow Man about?"
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing.
Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Now, everyone knows over the past sort of like few years, my big pet project, it hasn't been my own career, it's been get Carl famous.
Yeah.
I want people to recognise him in the street, come up to him and say, "You bald-headed mank twat."
Well, let me tell you now, Rick, I've
on.
been out and about, and a lot of people have come up to me and said, has Carl Pilkington got a head like a fucking orange?
Well,
and
I've
I've
been-
had to instantly confirm the answer to be yes.
But he's had a call. He had a call recently from a film company asking him if he's got any ideas for movies. Now, how desperate, in what dire straits must the British film industry be that they're going, "We need Carl Pilkington. We have hit rock bottom." And he went along for an interview.
So what? And you went in and you...
I went along and had a meeting, and they just said, right, got any ideas? And sort of said, what you thinking? What sort of thing are you after? You after action, thriller, whatever?
Because you can provide any of that.
I love that he's playing it cool, like you've come to the right person.
Yeah,
My time's precious, what do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Carl Pilkington, the movie doctor, what do you need, Papa?
So thought of this idea sort of on the spot.
Good.
That I whiz by
planning.
them. No, but sometimes that's how good ideas come up, don't
Yeah.
they? Just
So
random.
a lot of yours have come up, yeah.
No, but if you just
Randomly.
talk, I find that your mouth comes out with stuff.
Right, there's another
Right,
quote.
right.
There is another quote.
If you talk, your mouth comes out with...
That to me stands along with what were those things in Gremlins called?
No, but what I mean, if you sit there and try and use your brain to do it,
Right.
it doesn't work the same. Just keep talking. Just keep your mouth talking, and eventually it will come out with something pretty good.
That is exactly what Plato said.
So
So
anyway,
Aristotle, he said, "Sit down. I've got an idea for you." Aristotle said, "Plato, how do I go?" Right, just keep talking, and eventually your brain will come out with stuff.
so what I thought, I just started off by saying like actors' names and that who I thought should be in it, because then that's giving more. It's building.
Right,
Okay,
so
who
who
did
did
you
you
say?
say?
Who did you say?
So I said, right, I'm seeing Clive Warren,
Who the fuck's Clive Warren?
Who's Clive Warren?
the one who was in Closer.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Right, all right.
Did they look at you
I think I
like you're a
said
fucking
Clive.
idiot?
So they all started trying to figure out, who's this Clive Warren we've not heard about? He must be amazing. He's on
Clive Warren. Get me Clive Warren on the phone.
Who's got
Get
Clive
me
Warren?
Clive Warren.
And I said Rebecca De Mornay, right?
What?
Oh, where did that come
She
from?
hasn't been in a film for 15 years, has she?
Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay. They thought he was a genius. They've never thought of putting Clive Warren with Rebecca De Mornay.
But hang on a minute, you could have any film star. This is your fantasy casting, and you choose a bloke that doesn't exist and a woman who hasn't been on TV or in a film for 10 years.
Oh, God.
Why didn't you choose,
Someone who existed.
J-Lo or someone who's a big star?
God. Clive Warren. Oh, God. Oh,
So
God.
anyway, starts off, and the people, you're seeing into their lives from
Yeah.
like the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
Radio's on. They're going about the day. They're having the breakfast. They're saying, "Oh, what we're doing tonight?" And you're thinking, "Oh, they've got a nice life." She's like, "Love you" and all that. Yeah. He walks out the house, gets hit by a bus.
Oh,
So Clive Warren's
dead.
I don't know if Clive Warren would take that part
Because he ain't got much to do, has he?
No, I don't. If I know Clive Warren,
And I think you do.
I think I do. Carry on. So he's hit by a bus, so he's
So
dead.
he's hit by a bus and that. The titles come up.
Oh,
It's got
yeah.
you, right? She's
Starring
devastated. She's
Clive Warren.
fed up. She's devastated in that. Doctor says Clive's dead.
Who's playing the Doctor? Jack Nicholson House.
What's that fella who was in Independence Day?
Will Smythe.
No, the old black fella.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him in. He's
Morgan
a
Freeman,
doctor.
yeah.
He says, "Your husband's dead." She's like, "Oh God." What happens then is he says, "But listen, what we can do now, we can take the brain out."
Right.
Right.
And a fact that I'd read that day before the meeting. This isn't in the film now. This is me.
Right, but
Right.
luckily you
I read a
fact.
thing about how the brain can run on half of it. You've actually got a full brain.
Some
Run
of
it on
us have.
half. So this was in my mind still.
Well, half your mind, yeah.
So I said, what happens is Morgan Freeman says, been working on this. You can run your life on half a brain.
Right.
She's sort of a bit like, what are you telling me this for now? My husband's just died like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but if we're going to do this, we've got to act quick. She's like, do what? He says, whilst his brain's not fully dead, because it stays awake for a bit when you've been killed.
He's not dead then, fine.
No, but he is, but they found out that it stays awake a little bit.
No,
No, he's gone. You're hit by a bus.
Yeah, no, he's dead. If the brain's dead, you are dead.
Clive Warren's dead.
And if the brain's not dead, you're not dead.
No, but it's like people in a coma. They're dead, aren't they? But the brain's dead.
No, they're in a coma.
No, they're not dead.
Coma.
No, they come out of comas, don't
All right, then he's in a coma. He's been hit by the bus, but the chances are he's not going to come out of that coma, but his brain is still awake. So change that. That's easily done.
Hold on, though. I like this fact that he's in a coma, so they're going, look, he's definitely going to die in this coma. Take the brain out now. Pop the brain out.
But why is that such a weird thing when that's what they do now? That's what they do now.
What is?
That's what they do.
What?
They do that.
What? A brain transplant?
No, but when, like, how I've signed that donor card,
Yeah.
like, if anything happens to me...
No.
they've
There's
got the
no
lot.
such thing as a brain donor. Oh, we've explained to you before.
Yeah, but they're working on it. They've said something about Einstein. They messed about with his brain for ages, trying to work out if it was full of stuff. That's what they're doing. They're working on that. There's loads of things that doctors are doing that we don't know about. I've seen some weird stuff on the internet.
Yeah, I know you have. Yeah.
I saw a programme on Channel 5 where a monkey brain was still alive and it was stuck on a stick. And they
You were
poked
watching
it.
the Magic Roundabout.
They poked it and it reacted.
Right.
So it's still alive. It's being kept alive, and it's only a matter of time. What's the brain linked up to? As long as you can link it up to the eyes, and somehow so it can tell the arms and legs what to do, you're laughing.
I love that. Imagine a team full of doctors going, well, we're going to try and do a brain transplant. Carl, as long as you can link this up to the eyes and tell the arms and legs what to do, we're laughing. Cheers, Carl. See you later.
Then what happens is they say, do you want half of his brain in your head?
Half of his brain in her head.
She says, definitely not. I'm having you struck off. She starts screaming. She calls the police. He gets
Yeah,
arrested.
but you'd have said that years ago when people can have, like, someone else's arm put on their body and stuff.
Yeah, but he's only in a coma.
Yeah.
No, but he's not going to come out of that coma.
Right.
So it's like this or nothing. It's
Right.
like, look, you know, what we're going to do here? We can either turn the switch off,
Yeah.
or we can put his head in your head.
But why would
So
why?
what he does? So what they do then? They're going to take half his brain.
Half of his brain, take
Put it-
out half of hers, pop it in place
Why would she do that?
because she loves him.
But hold on. Well, no. Wait. What would she then be?
Because this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. Sorry.
What happens is he explains all this. So I mean, this would probably cover about 20 minutes in the film, but I'm just rushing
I
rushing
just switched
it up
off,
now.
but yeah.
No, you wouldn't. This bit would have you. So what?
Well,
what,
I'd have actually left when I wouldn't have even gone in to see a film starring Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay, unless it was 1985.
So the thing is, she's the same as you. She says the same thing. She goes, "Why would I do that, doctor?" And he goes, "Well, what will happen is he's gone, but you'll have his thoughts. So in the morning when you say, oh, I don't know what to have, well, I have cornflakes. His bit of the brain will sort of say,
Have a Weetabix.
have shredded wheat or
Yeah.
whatever." And she's like, "Oh yeah, good idea."
Sorry. So the point of this film is that the dead man can remind her what breakfast cereal she likes.
Yeah. So the thought.
What do you mean? Yes. So that's it, is it?
No. That's not the only thing.
Wait a minute. This is only Act One.
That's just the first bit. Everything's going well. She has it done.
So who is she? Is she herself?
She's Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
But now
With
and again, with him chipping in with a bit of voiceover. So the idea is it's all going well at the beginning. And she's
So she can't decide what dress to wear.
She's had half of her brain taken out and put in a bin,
Yeah.
okay, and Clive Warren's half has been put in there. So now she's walking round, okay.
So
Yeah.
she's like a schizophrenic.
No, like I say, the brain is alive, so it's all going well when she leaves hospital,
Yeah.
and she gets a first taste of it, and it's a bit weird to get hold of because she's sort of, I think when she signs herself out, he's sort of fighting right in his name and stuff. So there's a few sort of technical things that she has to get used to.
And does Clive's brain
What does
know
he
that
think?
he's now inside her brain?
Does that matter?
Well, I would say it matters because
Yes.
otherwise,
Yes, it does matter, Carl. What's he thinking?
What's
What's the point of this? Why has she gone along with this?
Because she really loves him.
But what's in it for him? What does she think?
Well, say if I died
Yeah.
and Suzanne said, "Go on, I'll have half of Carl's." right, she would wake up in the morning to a thought of me sort of going, oh, you never guess what I've just thought about or whatever. I'd still be there. The rest of your body is sort of waste, isn't it?
But Carl,
The rest of your body's sort of waste.
No, it is, kind of. If when someone dies, it's
Yeah.
not that person anymore, is it? You can't have a chat with them. So if you could have someone's brain in your head when they're dead, you'd have it, wouldn't you?
What are you talking about? Why would I have someone's brain in my head when they're dead?
Well, what
I've
else?
got a perfectly good brain.
So you're telling me you wouldn't have it done then?
Of course I fucking wouldn't.
I
Why
can
would
also categorically state I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but you're saying that now, but once you're in that position that someone who, you know, you love and that dies, if the doctor said, do you want it?
No!
And you
I'd
go-
go, no! It's madness!
I don't think you
It's
would.
madness!
All right. Let's...
So, tell me a typical bit of dialogue.
Well, we've done the breakfast scene.
Yeah,
that was
okay, yeah.
dynamite.
Yeah.
That's fucking Oscar winning.
Yeah, can we do lunch?
There may be, like, at the funeral, because even though the brain's still alive, they still have the funeral, and you can have, like, a funny bit where they stood around the grave, and, like, there's some relation there who he doesn't like, and she can start laughing, and the family are looking at her going, why is she laughing?
Yeah.
And she's sort of laughing, and he's saying something a bit rude, going, look at her head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Looks like a
Stuff on the
fucking
family.
Yeah.
Little cameo for you.
Yeah.
And so you have all that, and people are sort of liking the film, thinking, oh, it's quite funny, this.
Yeah.
And then you hit them hard.
It's the most ludicrous idea for film I've ever heard. It's the maddest. Honestly, it really is the ramblings of a mental case.
Right, I have to say though, I am hooked now. I want to know what's going to happen next in the story.
Then what happens is, she hears the voice go, Leslie, where are you? Something.
Right?
Her name's not Leslie.
No,
No.
So she's thinking, who's Leslie?
Yeah.
So in her mind, she's going, who's Leslie? He's going, oh,
So he's thought, hang on, I've let something slip.
I've
here.
let something slip. So she's going, answer me.
Oh.
He goes quiet on her.
Oh!
So
He was having an affair.
this is the thing. So she's trying to hunt down
Leslie.
Leslie.
And he's got to stop her thinking it.
Then what happens is, I mean, you know.
Where your backs?
So he's got to hunt down Leslie.
So she's got to hunt down Leslie.
It's a woman, is it? Another Leslie, or
It's
is it a
another
bloke?
woman.
Right.
But what happens is, I mean, without ruining the end for everyone, what would sort of happen is.
Oh yeah, because we don't want to ruin it for them. Because this will be filling the multiplexes in no time.
No, it's the greatest love story ever told, set in a head.
But listen, let's just get to
hang
the
on a
end.
sec though, Carl. I don't. Yeah, you've got to tell us the end. I don't think you can let people
No, come on.
listening
Come on, what's
hanging
the
on
end?
waiting for the film.
Just let your mouth talk.
Right, so what I said was, maybe what happens is, his brain is more powerful than hers.
Right. How is there power? Why is there no power involved?
What I mean is, her brain was running the rest of her body.
Now he's
His
taking
brain,
over.
that gets more powerful and overrules her body.
Okay.
Yeah.
She then fancies Leslie.
So it's a lesbian
hold on,
film.
this is building up to a lesbian love. So what the?
Well, it's
what?
trendy, isn't it, that? So just have a bit of that at the end. And
So hold on. So he overpowers her. So she is now a lesbian. What's Leslie getting out of this? Why does Leslie think, hold on, why is my
Because-
dead lover's wife coming on to me?
because this is what I'm saying to you, it's relationships. It's the love of two brains.
Right, okay. Again, can anyone
a
out there, can we
strapline.
make that into it? That's a quote. The relationships is a love of two brains. Well, it's now, he's got something there. He's got something
Yeah.
there. But my point is this. Why is Leslie suddenly turned lesbian?
Because she loves the brain.
But does she know this is Clive Warren?
Rebecca will say something now and again, like, oh, I like me
Minge.
I like my food done like this or whatever, and it's all about
Cooked.
Dave
I
likes
like my
it.
food cooked. Oh my, wait a minute, Clive Warren on this food cooked.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about this bacon.
Yeah,
What
I'm
I
going
mean
to turn
is,
into a lesbian.
People
Shredded wheat.
people like what they like, and it's the same way, like I've said to you before, with someone who's been going out with a woman, and then is found out that she's got a twin sister, and they divorce that first twin and go out with the other twin. It's all the same. You're after the same thing, aren't you?
Yes, but that...
When a cat dies, you buy another one. It's the same thing. You want that same.
Yeah, but you
love
don't
for
necessarily
something.
switch your sexual orientation. In the case of your twin scenario, they both look the same.
Yeah. Has there ever been one where it's a twin boy and girl? Go, well, I was going out with her, but I mean, he looks a bit like her.
Yeah. I loved boobs, now I like cock.
This is your problem. You don't know anything. And this theory about if your mouth talks enough, the brain will kick in soon. It hasn't. Oh, chimpanzee, that is raining down again.
Extracts from his famous diary. Box jellyfish, crocodiles, snakes, blue ring octopus, red-black spiders, funnel web spiders, great white sharks. Just some of the reasons that put me off going to Australia. Every creature is bigger and angrier than anywhere else on the world. I put it down to two things. One, it could either be because spiders and snakes and the like normally hide under rocks. The Earth is one big rock. Australia's at the bottom of the big rock, and they're trying to hide under it.
Carl, you are a maniac.
It's just thinking about it, thinking about where spiders go and that works, doesn't it?
No.
Why doesn't that work like a
Because
rock?
there's no real upside down and bottom of the Earth, is it? It's all relative to what? It's relative to what? A map that you saw.
Well, it's a coincidence, isn't it?
No, right, okay, read on.
I've heard that a lot of people go camping in Australia, which I think's mental. If I was to fly all that way, I'd want a decent bed. Plus, I wouldn't be camping in a place where there are killer spiders wandering around.
I agree.
I've only been camping a few times, and each time I was glad when it was over. The last time was last year in Lyme Regis.
Yeah.
When did you go camping in Lyme Regis?
Last year. It's all right, Lyme Regis, but it was all a bit of a nightmare because I was going with my mate, and he said he knew someone who knew someone who had a bit of land in the garden.
We had a bit of land in the garden.
What's the point, though, innit? You know, what's the point of camping in someone's garden where there's a sort of like a spa down the road and like a pub?
No, because you're by the sea, aren't you? It's getting away from it all, seeing the world.
It's not if you're in someone's front garden.
No, back.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there's even less to see except 3 fences.
No, but it's private, isn't it? So the thing is, he said, oh, it's a great garden, the owners are away, and there's a toilet, an outside toilet that they have
Getting
for, like,
away
when they
from
have
it, innit?
parties
Yeah.
and stuff. So we get there, and this lad who knew about this bit of land,
someone's back garden.
well, yeah, said, oh, you can't use it, they haven't gone on holiday.
So now you're stuck in the middle of a big civilised conurbation called Lyme Regis. How are you going to survive?
Well, we ended up just sort of keeping on the beach. But
Did you pitch your tent on the beach?
put the tent on the beach. We found somewhere where there was a load of rubbish, so we thought,
nice.
That's the place to go, yeah.
lovely.
No,
A
but
municipal tip.
What was it? Was it chemical waste or just like, you know...
No, just
Was
Coke
it just
cans and
syringes
stuff.
and...
Oh, lovely.
But listen, though,
Baby
you've got to
diapers,
think
sure.
about that.
Rusty,
If there's,
what's with rusty?
if there's rubbish there, it means it was a good place to camp,
Why?
Why?
because other people have camped there.
Right.
So that's how you've got to look at it. It's a way. That's like a little tip of.
So you could have slept
first
in a
thing-
public lavatory.
Yeah. This one's nice. What? It's covered in shit. Means other people have had a shit here.
Welcome to our 5-star hotel. You'll notice vomit over all the fucking walls.
So that means people have had a good time here. They got right pissed up and threw their lungs up.
So that's where we put down the tent. We put down the tent there, and then what
Some
was
people put up
annoying
a
is
tent, he puts down a tent.
we what's her name? We
It was already up. It
It was
carried
already
it all
they
the way
carried it all
from
the way
London.
there and they went, let's pack it down.
the weird thing was, as soon as we set up, some other people turned up.
Oh, that's all the rubbish tip. Holiday makers,
They started setting up their tents. And we're
Yeah.
like, oh.
No, look, there's some nappies over there.
Yeah.
Move nearer the nappies.
And they offered us some sausages.
All right.
My mate said, "Oh, ignore them. That's like code for swingers."
What?
No!
What? So there were some people cooking some sausages,
Yeah.
saying, "Would you like the sausages? We've made too much." And you
It's
said,
just
"No,
that
that's
thing.
code
Don't
for
talk
swinging."
to strangers. It's like we want to get away from it all.
Yeah.
We don't want someone. You know, it starts off with sausages, doesn't it? And then
So,
before you know
but what do these people look like?
it, they were about 45.
Who are they there?
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman. So what was in it for the bloke?
Some people like that, don't they?
No, I
I
mean,
don't know.
you say, right, I want the bald one, love. If it's like wife swapping, should one of you be a wife?
No, but I don't know all the rules and that. But
He's just got a real thing for fucking oranges.
and we didn't want any sausages anyway, so we just sort of
I
said,
don't believe sausages is a
Is a
code for
code for
swingers. Because eventually, how many times do they give someone sausages and they go, "Well, get your pants off," and they go, "Well, we just have some sausages." They go, "Oh, this isn't working, this code."
But
We
why
need
would
a better code?
Why would we be being offered sausages?
Because they're nice people and they're making sausages.
Makes you wonder.
Let's not trust these people. Let's move our tent nearer to the corpse.
So yeah, that was the camping.
September 30th. Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad. We're meeting them at Madeira Airport as they're flying in from Manchester. The plane was full and I had a headache. There was a baby sat behind us that was crying its eyes out for the whole flight. The mother of it said it was upset because its ears were hurting. So were mine.
Oh God!
We went to try and find a supermarket. Suzanne's man was having a go at her dad because he didn't have a shirt on. She said he looks a mess and is embarrassed to be seen with him. It's their Ruby anniversary tomorrow.
That's why we went away.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a fan to put in our room to drown out the sound of the mopeds. I've heard Wayne Rooney does the same thing with a vacuum cleaner. What?
If you've just got a noise that's constant, it makes you nod off. And it drowns out every other background noise. So all you've got is, like, if it's a vac, it's just... And if that's constant for, like, all night, you just nod
People
off.
next door going, they've got their vacuum cleaner on again. But poke the chickens.
That's how nuclear wars start.
Yeah.
It works.
Doesn't work.
We
Earplugs, drown out everything.
I've tried them. I didn't like it, did I?
Why not?
Because I could hear my heartbeat.
Oh, you're such a strange little creature. Oh.
Didn't do much this morning. Just sat by the pool, saving insects that flew into it.
I'm gonna die like fucking Noah. That's amazing. Nothing good.
How were you saving them? Did you wait for them to hit the water, then fish them out, or you grabbed them in the air?
Stuck my finger on the top. They grabbed on, lifted it off.
And what, when some sort of insect lifeguard, you'd see someone landing and you'd go, right, that's me, dun, 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 and you'd go in there.
But it's hard to turn a sort of a blind eye to stuff like that because you know that's something, you know, you're witnessing death. And if you can save something, you do, don't you? You do your bit. And at night, I'd sort of think, have they learnt the lesson or will they be back and will they be dead in here tomorrow? But if they can get an extra day, I've done my bit. I can't do more than that. I'm on holiday, do your bit. I'm lucky enough to see the world, do your bit.
I love it.
I did my bit.
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that he was running around saving flies and things.
It's just something. There's something so sort of.
Meanwhile, an old lady drowned.
Yeah.
While he was saving a beetle.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing.
Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Now, Carl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Jake has emailed in. He says, Carl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so somehow they've cloned you, Carl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered. And that'd be the end of conversation.
What would do me head in is, does it think the same way, look the same way,
Exactly
dress
the same.
Yeah.
How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No, no, no.
How would I know which
That's
one I was?
incredible.
No, because-
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than how would I know which one was me?
But think about it, this other person's going, all right, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute, No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you'd go, should I be leaving? Or... So, how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're experiencing
But he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it is a bit weird.
But
isn't it,
you know
Owen,
the truth, you idiot.
Because
How
you
would I
wouldn't-
know which one I was?
So anyway...
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you, you know...
You could be in two places at once.
Would you do stings? Would you do scams?
No, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going off, going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, will you pack it in? And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would have been like if there was two cars.
Yeah,
he was having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean, though, that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on...
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little... Again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's all right when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? They're just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? Like normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable. Okay, Carl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right. The pressure is when I've told you the answer to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so there's two doors, Carl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven, one leads to hell. Yeah. Okay, they're identical. You can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously, you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's two guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what? One to both?
No, one to either of them. You don't know which one's which, though. So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
Because
not the rules.
are you can only ask one. There aren't actually two doors labelled heaven and hell, Carl. This is a leap of imagination here.
And I've definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away. You cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. What question do you ask?
I can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's no
Get anywhere
keyhole.
near them. Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah.
So they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling.
Yeah.
But one of them's not really smiling, really. He's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question, if you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah.
But would they be neighbours like this? Would they be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these two guys get on.
Okay, it's a logical... Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there. No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
No, hang on. Right, so you go up and you
Yeah.
go,
Right, hang on. Well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those two guys. Okay, right?
But we have to. Well, me and Steve would decide which doors we're guarding. Okay.
Right.
I'm.
Look away, Carl.
Okay.
Right.
Then.
So we've decided. Okay, one of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question you're going to ask and who you're going to ask it to?
Right. I'll just say to you, Steve. I'll go. Got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some post for God here.
Well, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe the question's coming. You got some post for God here, yeah.
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No, let him finish.
Is God in? Because I need him to sign for this post. Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Go on.
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well,
yes.
Do you want to get him? Just.
Well, no, you've only got one question.
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
Ask me. Yes.
Look, lads, I'm just trying to do a job here. What am I going to do with this?
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. Let me tell you the answer. I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil. Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so I'd say he'd say hell. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door are you looking after?
Well,
heaven.
Yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same, and I'd say heaven as well.
Right. So who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling, though, isn't it? This is what life's.
Well, as opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
I just think because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer, and you go, "Do you know what? I don't like the look of him." So
they're identical.
Yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little snidey one.
Oh, chimpanzee, that is written it down.
That's the jingle there for Carl's diary. Here we are. Spoke to Ricky and his friend Glyn about art. I just don't get it. Ricky had some odd pictures on his walls. I don't have any pictures up in my flat because of the mirrored wall. But I can't say I'm bothered. The mirrored wall, we should just explain what that is. When you moved into your flat, there was an enormous mirror on one wall. Was that right?
We just got this flat, and it's not a big flat. So I think the people who had it before us, he was a gay fella, right? Which was a bit like, oh, so you've been doing with that mirror and that. But that was
What?
no, just
What?
What
has he been doing with the mirror?
Well,
What's he been doing? Why?
No, it's just because they're quite sort of experimental in it, aren't they? And
I don't know. What do you mean? What do they do?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it, but go on.
No, what do you want? What?
no, I don't.
Experimental in what
What do
way?
you mean experimental?
I just mean, they'd be doing stuff.
What?
Whatever they do.
Chemistry.
What?
They have a chemistry set out. They were doing experiments. What?
No, just doing what.
Singing "I Am What I Am" and just checking out
No,
the
each
dance
their own. I'm
moves.
not having a go at anyone, but
What?
I'm just saying, like, they're doing what they're doing, which
Carl, you're
is
not
annoying as
homophobic,
well.
are you?
Because,
You're not
no,
st-
I'm not. I'm
Well,
not. This is why. But
Why are you worried about what a little gay fella was doing in your flat before you got it in front of a mirror?
I wasn't worried about it.
Why are you thinking about what he was doing? Why are you fantasising what a little gay fella was doing in front of your mirror in your...
I'm not bothered. I'm just telling you why it was a bit odd that he had a mirror in there, right? But forget the history.
But you've got a mirror in there now, haven't you?
No, because what I did was I was going to take it down. And I thought, it's a bit dangerous. This, it could crack and
Because it's the
fall
size
on
of the whole wall, isn't it?
It took up a whole wall,
Right.
So like when he's moving about everywhere, he's got a good view of it and that. But he's got this full wall of mirror, and I thought I can't take that down. And I thought, what can I do? So I've just put wallpaper on it,
Brilliant.
and it looks all right. You wouldn't know, what have you? But it means that I can't put any pictures up. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because I've put a nail in.
And what don't you understand about art? What about art don't you understand? The concept, specifics.
No,
So-
that's like when we were in London having a shop around at Christmas, and there was that picture of fruit for 700 quid. It's like, well, just get some fruit. You know what I mean? You can get some real fruit for 3 quid.
Yeah.
I understand that, but don't invent cameras then, one or the other. Do you know what I mean? That's what annoys me. Someone invents something, And then they go, we've got to invent something else. Like the abstract thing. Why has someone gone, I can't have paintings anymore because...
What do you think of Dali? Going, melting clocks and stuff? No?
I mean, the first one was all right when he did the first clock, but then all the time he's just like, I'll draw something and it's got a melting clock on it. I'll do a sheep, put one of them on it.
Have you seen his lobster telephone?
That annoys me.
Why?
Because I think what annoyed me more with that is when I heard about how it happened, he had some artist mate round, right? And I don't know what happened. They were eating.
That's a hell of an anecdote.
No, but they were eating. They were eating some food and what have you.
Yeah.
Lobsters?
And they were eating lobster.
Oh, right.
And
That's handy.
I don't know, the other artist, whoever it was, sort of
Telephone?
started saying, "Oh, you and your clocks and all that," right?
Brilliant.
And,
This didn't happen.
They started arguing,
Yeah.
and he chucked some of the lobster.
Bollocks.
And it landed on the
It
phone.
bounced off his mate's head, went on the phone, and they both looked at each other like, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And they brought out that phone as a bit of art. Things like that annoy me. Because it was them just messing about.
That didn't happen.
Just telling you what I know. I saw his work. Each to their own, if that's what he's doing. I'm just saying, I'm not putting my stamp of approval on it. Art should be there to tell a story, not just to have a splash of colour.
Was Suzanne like some art? Just like Suzanne's not allowed to watch telly unless it's her favourite thing. Otherwise, she's got to talk to me about stuff. There's no art. There's no point. Just wallpaper.
I'm just saying, we've got three windows we can look out of.
Right.
Right? Stop looking at the walls. Look out the window.
My mum phoned and said that my Auntie Nora, the classic Auntie Nora, wanted me to look on the internet to find out what the weather would be like in Spain at the end of November. I don't know where she gets her money from. 2 months ago, she was asking me dad how much it would be to get her back garden astroturfed because she's sick and tired of the grass getting out of
What does she
hand.
want to do? Start a football team? What does she want to back garden AstroTurf?
She likes the sort of green look, but she doesn't like the headache that comes with it. So she's just looking into getting that false grass put in there.
Brilliant.
Don't know how much it is. But.
Went round to Ricky's and had some chicken curry that Ricky's girlfriend Jane had made. Ricky and Jane were going on holiday for a few days and had arranged for Glyn to come in and make sure the cat was okay while they were away. I'm sick of that cat. I was surprised that they hadn't paid for the little shit to go away with them on first class. Blimey, getting a bit vitriolic in the diary.
Why doesn't he like the fact that I've got a cat and I love the cat? Why?
It's just everything in that house that you've got gets sort of special treatment, and it's a cat. And
What do you mean you get
me.
special treatment?
Sometimes
We put food down for it, and sometimes it gets on our lap and we stroke it.
You don't just stroke it.
We're
You
not sending
massage it. You massage its back. You go, no, you're stressed out.
Well,
You're
no, it's
stressed
good.
out."
No, I'm not saying you stressed out. At no point did I say you stressed out. You said, "What the fuck are you doing for? Is it stressed out or something?" I like touching my cat.
To be honest with you, I don't like Ricky's cat.
I can't believe
Because every time I go around there, it comes straight from the goonies.
But it's like the lizard thing you've got. It's just sat there. You've bought a big box, right, to be in.
Right,
And the
one,
last
it's a salamander, so it's an amphibian. It's
Yeah.
not a box, it's a big vivarium.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
And
is...
as it and if you're going to criticise someone for just sitting there, having a round head and doing nothing with its life, people who live in glass houses,
No,
we've
but
done this one.
Do you know what gets me though, right, Steve? When I was there, I was looking at it and I thought, is it dead? Right, because he's just sat there. Like,
And it was thinking exactly the same fucking
he's sat
thing.
there, not moving, right? And then on the top of the box is like a box full of crickets and stuff. That's it. It's its food,
Yeah.
right? But they were more active than the thing that it was going to feed. Get rid of the lizards. Keep them in there. More entertaining. Don't understand it.
A few months back, a girl who was having a kid showed me one of them scans of the kid that was in her. That's science gone mad, innit? I couldn't think of anything nice to say, as it looked like a frog.
Do you know why we've got to that point? What? Why have we got to see something that young? Why?
Because people can keep an eye on the progress of the baby in the womb.
Yeah, but why are they printing it out and stuff? Surely that's for a doctor to see.
Well, that's just an added bonus for people who are interested in such
But that's
things.
like saying, why do you take pictures of anything?
No, but what I mean is, why? At what point are we going to stop? Are we going to start sort of X-raying the fella's testicles and saying, well, there it is at a really young age?
Well,
Where are we going to stop?
it's just horses for courses, isn't it? Some people like to have a record of their baby in the womb. They
That's
like
right.
to show their baby. They're
They sit
excited
there-
about it.
They sit down and they show the friends the slideshow. That's the birth. Oh, that's the conception. Oh, look, Ron's going a bit mad there, isn't he?
But why do I need to see this? This is what I'm saying. It was an awkward situation because she was happy with it. I was like, oh, God. You know what I mean? It was an odd-looking thing. I couldn't say, oh, it looks like you, because that would be a diss.
Well, Rick, you're not the only one who's been away. I know you've been off working, but I, at long last, have taken a bit of leisure time.
Go on.
And you've probably heard of the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. Only one of the hottest, events in the world calendar.
Yeah.
Imagine me down there.
Oh,
Rio,
God.
you can imagine, did not know what hit it.
Oh, God almighty. Imagine, were you like Paul the Party Animal Parker?
He would not have been able to keep up if he was with me.
God, what did you do? What did you get up to?
Oh, let me tell you right now. Day one, I almost drowned. Day two, I got a foot infection and spent the day in the hospital. And the rest of the time, I had diarrhea. So that was a hell of a time.
Carnival.
Yeah. I did. I was able to watch some of the carnival on TV, and it looked brilliant. It looked
Did it?
amazing. I didn't actually. It was difficult to make out because the TV wasn't actually in my room. Because in an effort to save money, I wasn't staying in a hotel. I was staying with a bunch of other people in some kind of, like, someone's flat that they'd let out. And so I had to watch the TV, like, from my window, watching a neighbour's TV. And of course, when they changed the channel, often during the juicy bits, I couldn't see anything. And but it looked really good. I'm bunged up at the moment just so I can get through the show. But I've just been on a 12-hour flight, and it is terrifying being on a flight when you know that any moment you could go. Because how the problem is sometimes the toilet's free and sometimes you've got to queue up. And the worst bit is that sort of half an hour just before you land when they say the toilets are out of bounds now. I'd say I went twice before that in quick succession. The woman sat next to the toilet. She didn't know what was going on, the noises and stuff in there, and I was really panicky.
Oh, Christ!
And so of course then on the whole flight, as we're landing, I'm really petrified because I'm thinking I packed a pair of underpants and jeans in the bag in the holdall. Just in case it all went. And I was really, because I hate flying anyway, and I hate landing because it's the most terrifying moment of the journey. Then it really was rumbling, and I was thinking, I got to get out of here. Of course, you know when you're in a hurry, everything makes you angry. The little old lady in front of me who's just hobbling along off the gangplank.
Yeah.
Just really annoying.
With your bad hips and your bad
and
legs.
your Zimmer frame.
I know you've been through a war, but get out of my way.
Yeah. And just anyone who kind of even passes you, and so I managed to get there just in time, got into and it all went off. Man alive, it was grim. But that was not anything compared with the first couple of days. Because the first day I went for a walk. Ipswich Beach is famous for just the beautiful, beautiful people that gather there. There's so many beautiful women in Rio. It made me angry. I was angry that these women were so attractive and that none of them were even looking at me. So, but anyway, I'm on the beach because I was shopping and I needed a wee. Right, and we went for a quick impromptu swim, and I thought, wee in the sea.
Just think of him on this beach, right, with diarrhea.
Well, I'm wearing great big long shorts because I'm not going to try and compete with these boys because they
And you are, could I say this, the whitest man
Yeah.
I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, with his shirt off, you can see his heart like a newborn fish.
Well, this is the thing. As I went into the sea to have a wee, there was a discussion about this.
As I went into the sea to have a wee in a litter tray.
See, there was a discussion about this because I'm very much of the opinion that you should take your trunks down. And some people, some of my friends are saying, just do it in your trunks and let the sea just wash it away.
What a hell of a carnival.
And I think I'm against that. I've always been against that in swimming pools, everything, So
I'm against pissing in swimming pools, full stop. It doesn't matter whether you take your trunks down or don't piss in
But
a
what about
swimming
in the
pool.
sea?
Yeah, well, fine, yeah.
Fine, okay, right,
Fish do it.
So anyway, I'm in the sea trying to urinate, and I kneeled because I'm obviously very tall, so it's tricky to get deep enough for the water to mask what you're up to. So I tried to kneel down in the water, right, and I got John Thomas out, but then the water swept out again and just left me on the beach. But luckily my back was to everyone, so no one saw. I
can't
walked.
think of a funnier sight than Steve Merchant on his knees with his little John Thomas out. I don't know how big it is. I've never seen it. But I imagine it's in proportion to the rest of it, is it?
I
No?
wish. That's all I'll say is I've been a little shortchanged. But so then I got up and I waded a bit deeper in, right? And now I was trying. I got it out. But what I didn't realise is that the waves just off the beach are really just uncontrollable. You never know what's going to happen. So suddenly I see this giant wave coming towards me, crashing towards me, and I got the cock out and everything, and it grabs this wave, comes over me and lifts me up, flips me up in the water, right? And I'm floundering around. I can't see anything because, of course, I had to take my glasses off to go in the sea because I didn't want to lose them.
Oh God!
So I floundering around, and I'm genuinely getting scared because as I try to get into shore, the wave just pulls me back again. So I'm waving to my friends on the beach. But
With everything.
Well, what I don't realise is that because I'm not wearing my glasses, I don't realise that I've been dragged along the beach some way, and I'm not actually waving to my friends. So there's like a bunch of these beautiful women on Ipanema Beach watching a pasty white man waving with his cock out. And what annoyed me was my friends were laughing, and that really angers
if
me.
I'd have been there, I would have burst.
But why wouldn't you have come running? Would you have come running in to help me?
Oh, I couldn't have saved you with your glasses off and your knob out. If I ever save you, I want you to be fully dressed with your glasses on.
So you'd have just let me go. That would have been what you'd said to my parents. He had his knob out and his glasses off. There was no way I was going to...
I can't think of a funnier sight. Oh...
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing.
Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Carl, I've got a couple of little facts for you, just to try and inflame your imagination.
Go on.
Sharks are immune to cancer.
Are they?
Yeah.
So what? How have they found that out?
Well, I don't know, but
I've never heard of any fish having cancer though. I haven't heard of a cod being ill. So why are we focusing on that one?
good point. Okay. Stroking a spider can cause its hair to fall out.
What? Because it doesn't like it and it gets stressed out, or is it just that some people are rubbing too hard?
No, I don't think it's they're rubbing too hard. I think it's something to do with it. I mean, what sort of maniac is stroking a spider anyway?
My mum did it once.
Really?
Yeah, not to a spider.
Right.
It was just a little bee. She'd been out, sunny day and that. Got the washing off the washing line. She was bringing it in. Little bee sat on the top of like the bed sheet or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And she's in the kitchen with it, and she goes, "Look at that little bee there." She started sort of stroking its head. It loved it.
How did it make it clear that it loved it?
Well, it wasn't struggling. It was just sat there like, because it must have been like a bit dozy. They get a bit dozy, don't they, in the heat and that.
Yeah.
And it just stayed there on the sheet, and she sort of stroked its head for a bit, and she had to put it out. It didn't go out. It didn't try and escape. It was like, "You've had enough now." That was that. She sent it out. She loved all that. She loved little flies and stuff, and we had Harry the housefly.
What?
It's a Harry the housefly.
What do you mean?
It's just a fly that always seems to knock about in one corner of the room.
Right, it's the same fly, was it?
Yeah, it was the same fly. Yeah.
How do you know it was the same fly? So whenever she saw a fly, she went, "Oh, look, it's back."
Well, we weren't letting him in. It's just that it stayed in.
Carl, what makes you think it was a pet housefly as opposed to a different fly every day?
Because it was always in the same place in the corner.
But it could have been that something about that particular place that attracted flies rather than it was the same fly.
Well, I'm never worried about it. It wasn't harming us. It just always hung about.
But how do you know it was the same fly? How do you
I don't
recognise
know.
it?
We weren't worried about it. It doesn't matter, does it? If like we're thinking another fly's getting a bit of free rent or something, just let it stay. I don't understand why.
But why? No. Right, okay. You're in a house, right? There's flies, okay?
Not flies, fly.
Why do you think it was the same fly for all those years?
Just because we haven't got loads of other flies. At no point was there a crossover period where there's two, and it's like, hang on a minute, he's trying it on here. That's what I mean. It was always just one on its own. And we just thought, leave it, it's all right. I don't know why are you suspicious? Why you always think someone's out to do you?
No, I don't know why you assumed when you see a fly every now and again that it's exactly the same fly.
It just
In fact,
was.
that it's Harry.
The one in our house was the same one.
How do you know?
Well, all right, I don't, but at no point did I feel suspicious. Speaking of flies, though, and that, they've got one, right? I was out with Ricky, right, and he was reading the paper. There was a story there about a fly that its eyesight was bad or something, and they've made it a pair of glasses, and it had a picture of a housefly wearing.
Okay, this is incredible, Steve. Can I take over?
Hang on, let me just need to finish a couple of questions for that. So there's a small fly and they've made it a pair of glasses
Yeah.
so that it can see better.
Yeah.
And your concern is what?
Well, again, it's just that thing of we're looking after everything now, aren't we?
Sorry, I've got to come in here, Steve.
All right.
I showed you the story.
You saw it.
It was a picture of a housefly
Fly,
with a pair of glasses
on. Yeah.
Right. It was about a one-sentence thing. It was about how far technology's come.
Yeah,
And
and
a
we're
group
helping
of
flies
scientists
out.
using microscopy, right, and laser tools had, as an exhibition, shown that they could make a pair of glasses smaller to fit on a house. They'd put it on there and they'd taken a picture of it and it's on display. At no point was it actually, because the fly had bad eyesight, the fly was presumably dead, it was purely an art installation or a show of technology.
I thought you were going to say, Rick, that you'd drawn the glasses on there.
Yeah.
And he believed it like, there's a bearded lady in this paper. No. my God, Tony Blair looks like Adolf Hitler. No.
What do you think of that, though?
But they did
We're
it as an
helping flies
experiment.
Yeah, but all things start as an
But
experiment.
why would they make a pair of glasses for a fly?
How would they know he had a bad eyesight?
How would they know it was the same fly?
bumping into stuff? I don't know.
Bumping into stuff.
It's just that thing, innit, of human nature is something's wrong with something, let's fix it. And they try and help people out all the time, don't they? When you know, we're always doing it. We're always trying to help people out instead of just going, you've been dealt a duff card, cope with it. Came up with a good idea.
We'll be the judge of that.
I do it now. It's not a good idea.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sticking my neck out here. I think this isn't going to be a good idea.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to second that motion.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if we're both right.
See-through skin.
High five, Rick.
We've had a few emails about the old shows. People came into them late in the season.
Did I not tell you this? We had an email from an Inuit.
Really?
Yeah. I thought I'd mentioned this. Have we not mentioned this before?
No.
No, it was an email from a guy who said, I don't think he lives in Canada, I think, or somewhere else. I apologise if I'm getting that wrong. But I think he said he was half Inuit and he listens to the show.
Half Inuit? See, that's interesting because I think it was so remote. I know I'm probably wrong now, but I think that those are so remote that I can't think where they're meeting people who aren't
That are also Inuit, yeah.
Oh, and who's going, other societies are going, I'll tell you what, I'm fed up, there's no action here, I'm going to the frozen tundra, I'm bound to meet someone there.
Yeah.
Where do they meet? Do they do online dating? What
Probably a lot of online stuff.
do you put as hobbies? Fishing?
Yeah. Skinning stuff.
Skinning stuff, yeah. What stuff to skin?
Seals.
Seals, yeah, sure. That's about it, isn't it?
Why are they hanging about round there? Why aren't seals going, do you know what, it's cold, I'm sick of it here. It's windy all the time, what have you, and I'm getting a club on the head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're meant to be quite bright in terms of animals and that, aren't they?
Yeah.
So why are they knocking about them parts?
I don't know.
Say, like, if seals died out, right, would that be a problem?
We've done this.
We've been through this before, Carl.
Everything has a knock-on effect.
Even a seal, that's sort of in between something already. It's between a fish and a dog, isn't it?
I knew you were going to say dog.
It's not between a fish and a dog. What do you think evolution does?
I'll never
dog.
understand it. Maybe
What do you mean it's between a fish and a dog?
I'm just saying it's.
It was a perfectly evolved mammal that re-entered the water, I imagine, and then got streamlined. And I mean, it's between a fish and a dog.
But why not have one and the other? Why not have, like, you've got a dog, you've got a fish.
No, it's
anything
not
in the
between
middle.
a fish and a dog. It's not between a fish and a dog. I don't know what between means. I don't know what...
This is it again about saving everything all the time. What is it doing? What's it doing? Everyone's feeling sorry for him all the time. Save the seal and all that. What's it doing? Why are we saving it? Let's just ask that question. What's it doing?
I don't know what to say. It's between a fish and a dog.
Out of all the people in the world to have a chat with, do you know, what's his face? That German doctor.
Which one? The guy that displays the human body?
Guns Traven or something.
All right, yeah.
Well, I don't... Is he a proper doctor? Because it's just that it's always... I mean, I could cut a body up. I never see him sort of put it back together. Is anyone keeping an eye on him, sort of going, well, who is he, actually?
I'm sure he is a proper doctor.
I mean, he doesn't answer everything. Like, he doesn't say, I don't understand why the intestines have to be that long. I don't know why it just can't go from the throat to the belly, exit, straight dark line down, out the arse.
You must know.
Well, no, because the way he dragged it out and it was like miles long.
Yeah.
Pointless.
No, it's not pointless.
Just have a straight. Do you know what I mean? Straight.
What are you talking about? Again, the evolution sort of worked this out for us. It really works.
I don't think you're going to improve on it.
What I mean is that's probably that long because years ago they were eating dinosaur, and that might have took a lot of indigestion or something. I don't know how chewy it was. It might have been quite fatty, dinosaur meat, and it needs to go through all that. Now we're eating like yogurt. So I mean, we don't need anything that is doing that much work anymore. All the food is mashed up. Auntie Nora, right? All her food is mashed. Right? She doesn't have to chew anymore. She's got teeth, but she doesn't need them. And that's how
She's got teeth, but she don't need them.
No, but that's how we're
she could
moving
have her
on.
intestines removed then.
Well, no, but this is
that
what
would
I'm
sort
saying.
our other problem, wouldn't it?
We're changing everything all the time, aren't we? I mean, there's some fella who was looking at it on the internet. Identical twins, right? They were sort of sick of looking like each other. So they were like, what can we do, right? And one of the twins said, you have my arm, right? And he had his arm taken off and stuck on his twin, so his twin's got like 3 arms.
No, it's not true.
It's on the website.
No, it's not true.
What, for a laugh? They were born, so
what,
they did that for
no,
a
no,
laugh.
but just like-
what doctor's doing this then?
Well, they're old enough to sort of say, this is what we want. And
No. Doctors don't go, well, if he wants another arm, and I'll take it. They don't. Doctors don't do that. What sort of practice is this doctor going around and go...
Dr. Jekyll.
I mean, Carl, think of what you're saying.
but
where would he have stopped? Can you put his head on my knee? It's up to you.
No, but
Sign this. If you sign this, you can give my consent.
But we, it isn't.
What do you think these doctors are doing?
Just to do as they're told.
They don't do as they're told.
They do if someone wants it. And twins, sort of, it can get you down, can't it? Being a twin, because it's like...
Sorry, what would this solve, though? I thought you said he gave one of them a bigger nose or a beard or 2 front teeth to make him look different, right? Not... I'll tell you what we could do. Go on. Would you like 1 arm? Go on, what are you thinking? Well, me 3, you 1, therefore not twins.
Novelty.
I mean, you are a mental man.
But they can do it now, can't they? There's no sort of... There's no line drawn anymore. They don't go, you're crazy, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, in Saw 2, not in the real world.
No,
they
but-
don't do things like
All
this.
right, there's another bloke, right? I don't know the sort of full ins and outs of it.
Go on, you surprised me.
But what he asked for, something happened to his his tackle. Right?
It's penis.
Yeah, right. So he was at the doctor's, and they were like, "Oh, what can you do for me? It's a bit embarrassing. I've got nothing down there." Right. So they were like looking at it, going, "Yeah." Doctor, I don't know if he started like rubbing his chin with his finger or something. Looked down. He's thinking, got an idea. You've got a lot of fingers. How many of them do you use? The patient's like, yeah, I see what you're thinking. They cut off one of his fingers, sewn that on to where his tackle is. He's happy.
Well, that's different though, isn't it? That's where they've
really
taken
different.
tissue. I know, but I assume they fashioned it into more of a knob than a finger.
If you were doing that, use a sausage. I mean, why lose a finger?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because your finger has your tissue, your blood type, and therefore would graft near your testicles. A sausage is a thing that's made by a butcher out of offal, okay, that really can't be grafted onto any part of the human body. That's why they very rarely use any meat products in surgery. I know, yeah. I mean, why not use a sausage? You're a mental case.
I always remember this story when I was a kid about some bloke. He had throat cancer, right? And his doctor said, carry on with your life, right? It's not going to be that good, but just carry on. But don't eat meat. And he was like, I love meat. He's like, yeah, but just don't, have your veg, keep yourself strong, but don't be eating that. Anyway, he was fed up because he loved his meat, and his wife was feeling a bit sorry for him one day. And thought, I'm sick of him looking fed up and that. All he wants is some meat, for God's sake. Give him some meat. So she goes to the butcher's, gets him a big piece of, steak and what have you. He can't believe it. He's like, oh, brilliant, cheers for that. Anyway, he's got the meat on his plate, just about to tuck in, and the cancer comes out from his throat.
What?
No, it's something, I know, it sounds really weird, but it's something that I was told about years ago when I was growing up.
What are you talking about?
It was just some bad illness, some cancer thing, and it was coming out waiting for the meat. It was sort of dying.
Again, I get a lot of your medical knowledge is from
It's from the film Alien.
So this guy with throat cancer, okay, as opposed to it being a disease of the cell.
It was like a living.
The Alien. It was Alien.
So it was the animal. It was the little animal cancer.
That's why
what
he
are you
wasn't allowed to
talking
eat
about?
meat. He wasn't allowed to eat meat.
So it's sitting there. So it's actually sitting there and throwing. Well, I'll tell you what I'd have done if I'd have had some cancer in my throat. I'd go, there you go, rid of that. What are you talking about? So what happened?
He choked to death on this thing, and the wife was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have given him the meat after all." Just
That's a bollock story.
It's all. There's loads of weird stuff like that
There
that
is.
happens in medical stuff.
Well, the terrible thing is, if you got testicular cancer and you eat meat, your bollocks come out of your trousers and they're all over the plate, and you have to be asked to leave the restaurant.
Oh, chimpanzee, that is only gonna bring it down to the...
That's the jingle for Carl's diary, excerpts of which we read each week. Get straight into it. A band from the Conga have won the Best Newcomers in a Radio 3 competition. They use pots and pans for instruments. It says that the Conga is a poor, sad place. So why do people do that happy dance at the end of parties called the Conga?
Right, one is the Congo. There's no place called the Conga. They come from a place called the Congo. Now you're such a...
Met Suzanne at Euston Station. I said I would sort out the tea tonight, so I called the curry house. The fella couldn't understand me. I asked for 2 poppadoms. He kept saying, how many? I kept saying 2. He still couldn't understand. I said 1 more than 1. He understood. When we picked up the food and took it home, there were 5 poppadoms in the bag.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
There is a restaurant somewhere that sells knobs to eat.
No, there's not.
There is.
No, there's not.
No, there is.
It says that women can't eat too many of them, and if you want a seal's knob for dinner, you have to book in advance.
Right, it's gobbledygook. This is the ramblings of a madman again.
It's a trend, he writes. It won't last long. It'll be like hummus. Called Ricky and asked what the difference is between the mind and the brain.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
a hell of a phone call
Yeah,
to get.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Ricky did explain, but I can't remember what he said. I wondered at what age you are when the mind kicks in. Okay. Ricky changed the subject and said there is an island called Spider Island. There's nothing but spiders on it. A bloke went to visit the island and said there was 1,000 types of spider in one tree.
What do you think about that? What do you think of an island that's just full of spiders?
I don't know, because you need spiders. I don't know what they do, but they say a world without spiders wouldn't be good. But they sort of do something. There's something about if you did get rid of them all, it would have an effect.
Well, of course it would. Get rid of anything, it would have an effect.
Not everything though. Like I've said, jellyfish and what have you.
Well, no.
It's 97% water or something.
Yeah.
So how much are they doing? Just give them another 3%, make them water. That's more useful.
Give them another 3% and make them water. Oh, God.
Went into the gadget shop today. It's full of stuff that we don't need. Gadget used to be a good word that made you think of James Bond with all his gadgets. The best thing I could find in the shop was a clock that ran on potatoes. We are definitely going backwards.
I agree. Well, who cares about that? A little electrical impulse, so what?
Had a night out with old schoolmate. Found out about more of the other lads I went to school with. One is living underground.
What do you mean living underground? Not like a mole. Do you mean he's got a basement, or do you mean he digs a hole every night?
My mate went to visit him and he said it had been raining really heavily and that, and it's all the rain's running in.
What do you mean he went to visit him? He went down here? What's that? That's an hole in the ground. Yeah, come in.
He just said, come round to us, and he's living underground.
What do you mean he's living underground?
He's happy down there. He said it was really muddy and what have you. He said he won't be going back to visit him.
I believe this, though. I believe someone he went to school with now lives in a hole. That doesn't shock me.
You spent far too long with him, if that, now you're just happy to accept.
I totally accept that. I'd be surprised if I walked round where he lived that there weren't more people living in holes. His dad wanted to throw his budgie on the fire.
True.
His budgie died, his dad said, let's throw it on the fire. I mean, his mum, what did your mum do?
She just was worried about the other bird that was left, so she made it a bit of company by getting a rock, getting a feather off the dead budgie, sticking it on the rock, putting it in the cage.
So, a man living in a hole is not that bizarre. Right, carry on.
Watched a film about Hitler. Didn't watch all of it as it was subtitled. Can't be doing with that. Asked Suzanne if cinemas are full of deaf people when they're showing subtitled films. She said, shh, I'm trying to watch it. I said, what do you mean, shh? It's subtitled, I can make as much noise as I want.
Yeah.
She's a lucky, lucky woman.
You must be a joy to watch a subtitled film. I mean, the concentration is up there already. It's not as easy as when you're hearing it, because you read things, but, it's possible. If you had a buffoon going, I'm just going to sit here and make as much noise as I want, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
Do that in a cinema. Just walk into a subtitled film and go, right, everybody, let's all do the Congo.
We're having our bathroom done. The bathroom man was round at 9 this morning. We weren't allowed to use the shower because it all had to be bone dry before we could use his waterproof filler. Not that waterproof then. Went for a brew with Ricky. We talked about monkeys and how they are closer to humans than they are to apes, and how bees will drink cider to get off their heads. Now and again there is a bee that lets the drinking get in the way of the work, and other bees sting it to death. Blimey.
Yeah, well, there are bees. They love a drink, and they will drink pure alcohol. They love getting off it, and they fall down and they're drunk, right? But some bees get addicted in the same sort of percentage as human addiction. Like 10% of bees, they can't get enough of it. They take ethanol, they take cider apples and that, and then when they get back to the hive, they go in a bit pissed, and they've got guard bees, and they go, come on, we've all had a drink.
Bouncers.
Yeah, they sort of are, right? And they push them away, and they push them away again. Then the next time they go, right, I've had enough, and they give it a good hiding. And Carl couldn't get over this. I saw his face, but I knew that he was thinking of that bee with sort of like eyes rolling around his head, a little bit belligerent with his jacket on backwards.
Yeah.
And the bouncer going, come on, son, we've all had enough. Let's move away,
Yeah.
move away.
You're not coming in, right? You're wearing trainers.
Yeah, you're wearing 3 pairs of trainers, and I'm sick of it.
But what I did find out, because I went home and went on the computer trying to find out about drunk bees knocking about, they're not actually meant to fly. It's only because they don't know.
Fly.
Well, no, but they're if they were told that you're not actually designed to fly, they wouldn't bother.
No, this is that thing that goes around that aerodynamically, on the face of it, looking at the size of the wings and the body proportions and everything, that it's a surprise that they can fly. Okay, it's not that no one's ever told them they can't, and as soon as someone tells me not meant to fly, they all fall out of the sky going, "Oh, what are we doing?" Like in a cartoon.
No, but it's something about the confidence and that. At the moment, nobody's saying
It's nothing to do with the confidence. There is no such thing as confidence in bees. A bee never loses its nerve. That's not why it drinks. Because what are you drinking for? I'm just not confident anymore. There's no point to turn to the bottle. I can't go up there again. You're an idiot.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing.
Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Okay, then listen. Right, I've found some things that I think will interest you, and I want your first thoughts on these. Okay. Now these are facts that I've sourced. Okay.
What's the actual topic?
Well, you love animals, don't you? You're interested in animal
Some
facts.
of them. I don't love them. Some of them fascinate me and stuff, but a lot of them also get on my nerves.
I don't know how an animal can get on your nerves.
They just do.
Okay, then here you
Right.
go. There's a frog, Carl. Just a little frog, a poison arrow frog, that contains enough poison to kill over 1,000 human beings.
Why is it that annoyed?
It's not annoyed.
Well, why is it going about killing 1,000 people?
No, it has the potential to. It has enough poison, has enough toxin in it that could kill 1,000 human beings.
But does it need that? Whereabouts is this? Where's it living?
Rainforest, I think.
And does it need that sort of power? Is it in that much? Is it getting threatened a lot? Is what I mean.
Well, no, because it's saying, don't come near me, and it shows it with its colours. It's got the colours that say it doesn't want to be eaten. It doesn't want people to chew a bit, right, and go, oh, I'm an idiot. It's saying, look at my colours, don't eat me. You don't want to come near me.
But then why give it bright colours? Because now it's standing out.
Yeah, and it's going, don't eat me.
Yeah, but make it a colour that fits in, like camouflage. Why make it orange? Of course it's going to stand out, and then they'll attack it, and then it'll turn around and bite and kill 1,000 men or whatever.
No, it doesn't bite. It's the fact that if you were to eat it, you would die.
Yeah, but who's going to eat it?
Well, things that eat frogs.
The French.
And they go, sacre bleu! You have killed me and 999 of my friends.
But why is everything, like, surviving like this, though? I thought it was all about survival of the fittest, not the one who looks the hardest.
Well, but survival of the fittest is whether you're chosen or not by nature.
No, but I'd survive if I could go about killing 1,000 men at one bite. It's not fair.
It doesn't bite. It's
Well, whatever, if it licks you or whatever. But
no,
look, it
not if it licks you. If you lick it.
Well, I'm not going to lick it. It's not going to happen. I will not be licking a frog. So it's of no danger to me. So I could still kill it, and there's no chance, at no point am I going to lick a little frog's head. not when it's alive or when it's dead.
I love the fact it's all about you. It's all about how it relates to you.
And he's annoyed that they're getting away with something. He doesn't like any sly animals. He doesn't like animals hiding. Then he wants them hide. He doesn't want animals killing things. Then he wants them to kill things. He doesn't know what he wants.
When they say survival of the fittest, they don't mean that, say, lions have been working out in a gym.
It means the fittest gene pool, and the fittest gene pool is a gene pool that's still around. That's all it is.
You think that everything, slugs, cats, are all somehow their ambition is to be like us, or to have the attributes like us, that they can speak, they can talk, they can think, they can act.
I only think that because when you see people with these pets, lizards, cats, whatever, they treat them like the humans. So I think if you do that enough times, they're going to start getting familiar with certain...
Planet of the Apes.
No,
He's
I'm
thinking
talking,
of Planet of the Apes.
Say like you with your cat, the way you talk to it, you give it a little cheeky massage and that when it's stressed out.
No, you made that up, that it was stressed out. I'm just playing with my cat, right? If anything, the cat is to de-stress me.
So you're talking to your cat, Rick. Is it answering back much? How are the conversations going with your cat?
Well, I have more intelligent conversations with my cat than I do with him.
Yeah, here's one, right? When my gran died, right, she had this rubbish dog, right, and that's all we got left. It was called Fluffy, and like my gran looked after it in a way that it was treated like a human. Do you know what I mean? Had a little coat on when it went out and all that. Anyway, so she died. We get left it. My dad's like, oh, bloody hell, right? Before you know it, it was a wreck. Because we weren't sort of bathing it the way she bathed it. We let it out if it wanted to go out. It got covered in oil. It used to go under the car and everything. So it went from looking like this fluffy, poodle to just being a bit of a wreck. It got hit by a car. It ran sideways like a crab and all that.
In the course of how long? A month?
Probably about two months or something.
Yeah.
Now, so it went from being over-treated to just being treated like a dog.
Yeah. But a dog isn't, is not a indigenous species anywhere. We sort of bred those from, jackals and wolves.
Change it. Take away the dog thing. I mean, that lizard thing you've got...
Salamander.
It's still sort of treated as part of the family, even though it does nothing.
It's not. How is it treated as part of the family?
Just the way, it's looked after, that big area that it's got to itself.
We stick it in a case and feed it a cricket now and again. How is that like one of the family?
It doesn't matter because it's in your flat.
It is in Carl's family.
It's in your flat, innit? And it's sat in that corner. I just mean, as time goes on, things get educated as they get older. How old's that lizard?
You don't.
How old is it?
About 15 years old.
Right. Now, it knows more now than it did when you got it because it's been in those surroundings. It's had its eye on things.
It's 15, so presumably it listens to a lot of Linkin Park, goes on the internet a lot.
No, but do you know what I mean? You've already proved your point. It's like that fella who kept hitting the dog on the head with a stick.
Right. Pavlov, at no point did he hit a dog on the head with a stick.
But he kept doing it, and eventually the dog went, I'm sick of this, and wandered off, didn't it?
Pavlov there. Brilliant. Do you know what I'd like to do? A programme where you paraphrase someone's theory. So Pavlov's first. We could do Freud. Give us, what do you know about Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis? Right, come on in.
I don't know anything on him.
Here's an interesting fact. If the frog annoyed you, this might annoy you. A blind chameleon will still change colour to match its surroundings. You're aware that the chameleon can...
Yeah, whatever it sits on.
Yeah.
But then what happens when you put one of them on a mirror? No, does it get stressed out, or what? What's it copying?
Well, it probably doesn't need to copy anything because it looks at itself and it goes, oh, look, looks like that. That's brilliant. God, that was fast. That's the fastest I've ever done that. That is brilliant.
So they can go any colour. There's nothing. You can put them on anything, and they'll go to the thing.
I don't want you to have a chameleon because you'd just be trying to see what it could and couldn't do.
Try and catch it out.
I know, yeah.
Pop it on some tartan.
But again, say like the frog thing, right?
Pop it on the telly.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it fast enough.
Why does the chameleon need that skill of copying a colour? Because at the end of the day, that's mainly sticking in the woods, isn't it? By trees, by grass.
Right.
Why can't it just stay green? That's all it needs. Those colour changes are only for camouflage, aren't they?
I don't know. Some of them are for attraction. Some of them to show moods, anger.
No, but I just think we're encouraging them. You see, maybe this is evolution or whatever, but at the end of the day, because they can change colour, they're wandering out of their area. they can be wandering about, through a car park and everything, just because they'll go, well, I don't want to get seen, change the colour of concrete. Whereas,
or into the colour of a Fiat Punto.
But they should just stay green. Stay green, right? Stay in the woods and stay safe.
I love this public information for chameleons.
Words of advice for chameleons.
Oh, God.
Stay green, stay in the woods, stay safe, good night.
Oh, God. Right. The only time a turkey whistles is when it panics.
Christmas time, then.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Carl?
It goes from one extreme to another, doesn't it? You've got a frog who's going mental,
It's not going mental.
killing thousands of people.
No, that's not.
That's got that sort of power. Then you've got a turkey who's whistling for help.
You think that you should redress the balance a little bit? You want to give... What would you do? Give the frog the ability to kill 500 and the turkey 500?
I don't think it should be killing... I reckon 10. 10, because...
You've made your point with 10, haven't you?
Do you think that he's got 1,000 in his lifetime, like he's got 1,000 to kill? I don't think you understand.
I just
He
think...
doesn't really kill 1,000 people. It doesn't mean someone goes, Frog, you have the power to kill 1,000 people in your lifetime.
Choose them wisely.
But I just think if it needs that sort of power...
It should be fighting evil.
Well, it's not... it's knocking about the wrong area, isn't it? If it's under that much danger, move. I was thinking the other day about, your body and everything, because it is amazing, isn't it? How it works.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Does the brain control you, or are you controlling the brain? I don't know if I'm in charge of mine.
Nor do I,
There's a surprise.
Nor do I,
No, do you know what I mean, though, by that?
Does the brain control you, or do you control the brain?
Don't you ever sort of think sometimes? Say if you're making,
But
'cause
you
I
are
was
the
making,
brain.
No, but I was making a shopping list, right? Going right, I need some rice, kidney beans, and I thought I had everything, and I sort of was rolling up the paper, and then something went, oh, an onion.
Your brain did
something
that.
went an onion. Was it Suzanne?
No, well, my brain sort of went, you forgot something.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd forgot. I was
No,
putting
you
that-
are your brain.
No, but don't you understand? My brain was I was in control of my brain when I was writing down rice and kidney beans.
But you're not in charge of the onion. That's another part of the brain that's in charge of the onion.
The onion sector.
No, but I'd put the paper away, putting my coat on, ready to go and get the rice.
Yes, but your onion lobe kicked in.
What? So you put the paper in your pocket, you got the coat on, then you just suddenly hear
Then
from
it
nowhere,
was just like
onion.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that shopping list. It's in my pocket. I'm thinking, do I need my gloves? It's cold out.
Yeah.
Suddenly, onion, and it was like, oh yeah, onion. Yeah, I had to get the paper out.
You
So
had
what
to
I'm
write that
saying
down.
is,
But
who's
what?
in charge?
The brain, the mind. The brain is the... What are you doing?
But
Who's in
that's
charge?
just you forgot the onion, and then you remembered the onion. You must have forgotten things in the past.
No, but not like that. Not where, like, it just made me think that was weird. Who reminded me of that?
You did.
Yeah, but I'm not.
No, you are your brain. It's not like there's you, then there's a brain, then there's an extra one looking down at it. Oh, the meta brain, the thing above it.
No, but your brain. How does your brain work? You give it information, don't you?
Well, it takes.
Do you mean you give it information?
Well,
It's doing it,
if
isn't
I
it?
sat in a room with nothing, not feeding it anything, it wouldn't know anything.
No, but there's this thing
But
that there's
then-
two yous. It's this thing that there's
There's
this,
Carl and Carl's brain.
Yeah, there's not a duality in this. If you go, come on, now think. That's the brain saying that to itself. It's not. There's not two people in there having an argument. Come on, brain. And the brain's going, oh, don't you start, I was thinking then. And the other thing's going, brain, onion. And the brain goes, Carl, onion. You are your brain. If you are anything, you are your mind, your brain, your collection of memories, your personality. You're not what you look like. Does that answer your question, Carl? What did you think then? You were thinking of a tortoise on a skateboard then when I did that last sentence, weren't you?
You know, whilst you've been working on that, I've been travelling about a bit. Went to Dorset, right? Nice beach there. And you know those huts you get, like a hut on the beach, and
Oh, where you get changed?
you can get changed in it, but they're better than that. It's like you can put a telly in it, sofa if you want.
Oh, you don't mean the Victorian changing hut? Do you mean
those
like
sort of things? It's sort of bigger than that.
Yeah.
And we're walking down there, and there was a really sort of big fat family in one of them. There was about 4 of them, and you could tell that they'd never had a game of anything. Do you know what I mean? They just sit down there, eating ice creams, looking at the sea, and what have you. And the weird thing is, the little fat kid, the youngest one, who must have been, I don't know, about 8, he was really fat to the point of you couldn't see his neck.
Yeah.
And he sat at the front of his mum and dad and his older sister. He sat there, and he had a frisbee, and I thought, look, they don't want to play with him. I mean, that's an active game to play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Frisbee. As we got closer, he was just using it to eat Maltesers out of. I just thought, even again, the one active thing he's got is using it to eat out of.
Yeah. Extraordinary.
And that just sums up what people are like now when it comes to keeping fit and activities.
Oh, that's fantastic.
One thing I've noticed, that because I occasionally go to the gym, and those guys who work out constantly to give themselves extraordinary physiques, just they're on the trip, they're on the weights, and they're really, I notice in the summer particularly, those guys cannot wait to get their shirts off.
Yeah.
Everywhere you see, they're walking around. If they've got a good torso, they are walking shirts off. Even I think if you go to nightclubs, I notice there's always one guy who's thinking, well, I have put so much work into this body, I have got to get my shirt off on the dance floor.
A vest, yeah.
And it comes straight off.
A brand new tattoo. I'm not covering that up.
Exactly.
I've paid a lot for it. Let's see it.
Yeah.
But that's what we were saying about bodies. I can't remember why we were talking about it. We've got to a point in science now that you can change your head. Right?
No, well, that doesn't make any sense at all.
It was a program on. It was done in the 50s or 60s where they stuck a monkey's brain on a stick and had it wired up and it still worked, right?
Right, okay.
And that was in like the 60s or
right,
whatever.
okay. Well,
so,
to say to change your head makes no sense at all. Because if you put a different head on a different body, you're changing the body.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm about to say to you, though.
What?
That's what I'm saying. That I'd be more confident if I had someone else's body. Because if anyone dissed it, I can go, no, it's bad, innit? But it's
What
not
are you
mine.
talking about?
Well, it's like, say...
As opposed to someone else's head?
yeah. Well,
What,
it
you'd
wouldn't be me, would it? The head is me.
Well, of course it is. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
So
the
what do you
head's
mean?
me.
You'd be happier having someone else's body? What, than your own?
What I mean is, say if you're wandering about, for some reason, there's an incident. You have to take your top off and that, and everyone's looking at you, right? And you're a bit sort of, you haven't got the muscles and that, you haven't got the 6-pack.
Right.
Which isn't that nice anyway. I don't know why that's become a nice thing, really, seeing the insides of you. You might as well... I mean, I know I came up with the see-through skin idea, but it's a bit weird, isn't it? You can see stuff.
No, it's the muscle in front of the...
No, it's not.
is.
Sometimes you can
It's
see
not the-
like,
It's not the
tubes.
outline of your
No, you
organs.
can't see tubes.
You can see tubes and veins and stuff.
Well, you can see veins.
Yeah, well, I don't want to see that. That's why we've got skin over it. Is
Well,
what
stop
I mean.
looking at naked men, then.
Why
No,
you
but
keep-
sometimes you can't help it because it's been hot, and like you say, there's people walking about with vests on and that. So anyway, what I'm saying is, say if some incident happened, I'm walking about with my top off.
Right.
Girls are laughing at me, right?
Why?
Dunno, they might.
Yeah, go on. So they wouldn't look at your body, they'd all look at your head.
So what I mean is,
Yeah.
rewind that, right, and imagine all that happens again, but I've got someone else's body.
Right.
Whose body?
Just some fella who's died, and my body was injured, and they said, we've got a new body in. You can
Right.
have it. We'll
Yeah.
stick your head on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, say if...
They're laughing at you.
they're
laughing at the body,
They're laughing
yeah.
at the body.
Yeah.
But at least I'd be able to sort of go, I know it's a mess, but it's not mine. At least I don't have to claim ownership.
So all of this extraordinary technology that can make put one head on another person's body, is so you can go, it's not my body.
No.
But
it's not your own.
I'm not being funny though. So if you have a body transplant, right, and you're there, you're at home, naked, you look down,
Yeah.
lovely penis and a set of testicles,
Yeah.
right? What do you do with them?
What do you mean? What am I doing with them?
Well, do you like them?
Well, you wouldn't mess about with them as much as if they were your own.
But if you did mess about with them, would you feel guilty that you were messing about with another man's testicles and penis?
And it's the full body.
Yeah.
No, because they're not my hands either.
you're doing is watching someone else wank.
Yeah.
Oh, chimpanzee that. He's gone and written it down again.
That's the ever-changing jingle for Carl's diary, excerpts of which we like to read each week. Walked through Covent Garden. There were 5 of them mimes knocking about. I don't understand why people take pictures of mimes. Everyone looks like a mime in a picture.
That's so true. That's really true. If the point is they're staying still, if that's their skill, a picture won't tell that story. That's absolutely true.
My dad took the cat to be put down today because it kept bumping into things since losing its sight. My mum said she's not going to get another one. She said the parrot is looking worried as it's seen the budgie and the cat go in the space of 3 months.
Your mum said the parrot's looking worried. What happened to the cat then?
It gets into a lot of fights. It lost one eye, and then it got into another fight and lost another.
Oh,
and it was just walking around bumping into stuff. The vet sort of said, "Oh, we can do stuff to keep it alive and all that," but it's a bit out of order, isn't it? Because it costs a fortune. They shouldn't tell you.
But
Mum and Dad can't afford to have eyes put on it and stuff.
no, you can't have eyes put on a cat anyway.
No, but they said, "Oh, we can do something here. We can have its eyes sorted out."
But I don't think you should be allowed cats.
Why?
Not the Pilkington family.
Why not? Well,
They
they have
keep
good
dying.
lives. Yeah, I know, but they have good lives whilst they're still knocking about. It's just that we get through them.
It's a good job you're not going to have kids.
Oh, God almighty. I can't believe it.
A mate sent me a story on email about a bloke in China who has this weird illness that means he can't have his picture taken. That's not the weird bit. If he tries, his body doesn't appear in the photo.
Don't talk shit.
He has had group pictures taken and everyone appeared apart from him.
Don't talk shit.
The
That's
story
bollocks.
had a picture next to it of a family photo and it said he was stood at the back, but you couldn't see him.
Right, he wasn't in the picture.
He was in the picture.
No, he wasn't in the picture.
We've done loads of tests and stuff.
No,
on him.
I haven't done loads of tests. This is bollocks. There's no way this is scientifically possible. What's his want? Yeah, now he's wanted. Just a white bit of paper up on the police wall. Have you seen this man? What man? If you see him, tell us. You're talking shit.
Suzanne watched the film You've Got Mail tonight for about the 14th time. I don't think you could properly fancy someone without seeing them, unless you're blind. I think it's odd when blind people have affairs. Why is that odd?
Just because most stuff is based on looks, isn't it? So you think once they've found someone, they're happy with them. Stick with them.
But no, it's not true. Most things are based on looks.
What I mean is when you first like meet someone and that.
Well, initially it's only looks because you don't know them.
So that's what I'm saying.
But that's a ridiculous thing to say, isn't it?
Well, no, it's just what I think. I'm not saying that's like facts or anything. I'm just thinking if you're blind, why mess about?
You're still basing on it if it's only looks that people find. What?
Yeah, I'm just saying. So why is a blind person messing about having an affair?
Because I'm saying that presumably that blind person isn't basing anything on looks.
I just all right. I mean, maybe that's not. I mean more like.
Do you want me to cross it out? Shall I cross it out? Because
it's just the same way. I think I put how people. I read something in a Sunday paper once with some bloke who was going out with some woman. He ended up going out with a sister who was a twin. If you're gonna have a change, have a change.
Spoke to Ricky about trips to the moon. He was up for going just to see what the world looks like. I came up with the idea of a giant mirror on the moon that would reflect the world back. He had a few questions, but I had the answers.
Yeah.
He changed the subject. I won.
Right. My first question was, how would you get it up there? He said bit by bit. That'd be a good mirror then, wouldn't it? I said, how big would it be? He went, you'd still need a telescope. I said, how would you get it on the right side of the moon, always facing the right? He went, what? He went, does the moon move then? I went, yes.
And if we don't like the mirror on the moon, we can always wallpaper over it. It's Suzanne's birthday tomorrow, so I've got to get her something. I sometimes think it would be best if we didn't celebrate birthdays. I think people would live a bit longer if they didn't know how old they were. Age puts restrictions on things. She said something about wanting one of them posh badges to put on her coat. I will look for one later.
I love the fact that around the time that you've got to buy Suzanne her birthday present, you think that birthday presents are a bad idea?
Got up early, it's Suzanne's birthday, gave her the card and present. She was well happy with her posh badge. She wore it to work. It's quite nice to hear a moment where she was actually happy for once in your company. They always say when you get someone a present, you should buy them something they wouldn't buy themselves. Daft rule. I want something I would buy myself if I had the money. When I was young, me Auntie Nora got me a present I wouldn't buy myself. It was a t-shirt with her face on.